Be cool, be kind, be classy. A cupcake so sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. There's a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Sack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Meshegas, ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcake's sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Hello and happy hump day. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. And wow, I don't know. I got Linda Ronstadt playing over and over and over in my head today. You know, I think in song lyrics, but before we get there, how about those Vegas Golden Knights last night, huh? Vegas Golden Knights taking game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And let's go Vegas. John Tortorella was coaching them through the Stanley Cup. Used to be the coach for the New York Rangers back in the day, many years ago. And he's a feisty one. He's also a Boston guy. The final score of last night's game was 5-4. It was wild. It was, you know how we hockey fans are. You hockey fans are the same way, right? We're superstitious. It was like a nail biter. It was a nail biter right down to the end. 5-4, Golden Knights over the Hurricanes. Yes. If you didn't know, John Tortorella was fined during which series was it? One of the playoff series, $100,000 because in flagrant violation of the NHL rules, he refused to do the handshake and the after the win presser, and they fined him $100,000. So he didn't care. He appealed it. He lost. And they also lost the second round draft pick. But what are you going to do about that? How's everybody doing? Before I forget, let me do a special birthday shout out to Mrs. Bouquet's son, Harrison, who turned 18 in May. And she tells me that he was annoyed that there was no stream on his birthday. And I'm sorry, Harrison. I didn't know it was your birthday. Happy birthday to Harrison, everyone. Tell Mrs. Bouquet happy birthday to Harrison. He's in the UK. And his mom said he could stay up past 10 so that he could watch tonight. And so happy birthday to Harrison. 18, you're a man now, son. Mrs. Bouquet's son. And she also is telling us that he passed his functional level 3 math exam today. So he's really happy. And so we are really happy. Congratulations to you, Harrison. We love you so much. We love that you're a cupcake and that you're watching us all the time. And happy birthday to Harrison. That is the first thing that I wanted to tell you about before we get to Linda Ronstadt and South Park and all of the crazy things that have been spinning through my head. I've been through a high school graduation and a prom. I'm back today and I'm better than ever. Okay, let's take a look at today's motivational quote of the day, because everybody needs a little motivation. Here we are on June 3rd, 2026. I bring to you today a quote from Pericles. Pericles said, "What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others." Oh, I think I like that. I think I like it. What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. Thank you, Pericles, for giving us a little motivation today. Let's, there we go. There we go. Fuck us. Fuck us. Hold on a second. I mean, that robot in the corner is always listening and thought I was talking to him because mine's a man, but you know, I wasn't. I said Pericles. I don't know. I don't know how that got misconstrued, but however, we need an empowerment card. So we're going to shuffle the deck and pull one of those for the day. There we go. Ready? Are you ready, everyone? Be savage, not average. Be savage, not average. Just do it. Just do it. Also, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. We have to repeat that all the time. It's like a mantra now. That was one of our empowerment cards a while ago. Look at Nona to 3 coming right in here, gifting 5 memberships. Congratulations to 5 new viewers. I'm excited. Angie, I'm so excited that you're here. Angie through Venmo says, finally catching alive. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Angie. I'm so glad that you could make it. I love you with all my heart, too. I love you with all of my heart. All of you who choose to spend so much of your time with me, because I imagine that you like me. And but you know what's even funnier is that I think we even have a bigger audience of haters. We have a bigger audience of haters than lovers, because the haters love to watch everything I do and then publicly hate on me, which is so wild to me. Like, if your whole life is based on hating me and other people like Turboy, really, you need to get a life. It's so sad, but whatever. Keep throwing me money. Keep promoting me. Keep clipping me. It's not hurting me. Gypsy, thanks for becoming a member. And look at James Lynch gifted a membership. Thank you, James. And David has been here for 2 years. And oh, did you get your new cupcake? Did you get your new cupcake? It has a 2 on it. It's like pink on the top and blue on the bottom. Well, today's the day. Well, it was actually yesterday. Yesterday was the day, right? And let me, I can't play the song for you because they'll strike me, but who remembers Linda Ronstadt? Here's the lyrics of this song. Tell me if you know the name of this song. Feeling better now that we're through. Feeling better because I'm over you. I learned my lesson. It left a scar. Now I see how you really are. Sing it all together. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good. I won't say it again. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good. He's gone. Good is gone. Resigned. Not retired. Resigned. What a shame. What a shame for Sean Good. He's gone. He's gone. Quizzically gifted 5 memberships because maybe he or she likes my snark. I appreciate you so much. The more the merrier. The more members, the merrier. I never said I was a good singer, and I don't claim to be. That's part of the joke. However, oops, we got to turn it off because we don't want to get in trouble. Oh, man, I had the best thumbnail earlier, but I took it down because I thought I might get in trouble from South Park. But we're going to talk about that in a moment, too. If anybody has not watched season 26, episode 2 of South Park, it is the episode where Meghan Markle and Prince William of Canada go on their world privacy tour. Has anybody seen that? Or am I the only one who's seen it? It's the world privacy tour of Meghan and Harry. I mean, Harry, right? Harry and Meghan, right? Not, what did I say, William? Harry and Meghan. World privacy tour episode of South Park. You got to go watch it. It's season 26, episode 2. Let me just pull my chat up on my phone, which is what I got to do because, you know, it's like a whole thing. Goodbye. Goodbye. You're no good. You're no. Also, all right, in addition to you're no good, good riddance. Hope you had the time of your life. This is a privacy tour. It's the privacy tour. Well, here's what happened last night at the Canton Select Board meeting, June 2nd, 2026. They announced it. Remember, Chris Albert is no longer on the Canton Select Board. Shout out again to CantonCommunityTV.org from where this clip is. This clip is from there. This was last night's Canton Select Board meeting. And here's how they announced the departure of Canton police officer Sean Goode. And they don't want to talk about it. They just don't want to talk about it. They want privacy too.
Sergeant Sean Goode submitted his resignation from the Canton Police Department effective June 2nd, 2026. At the time of the resignation, an administrative investigation by an outside investigator was ongoing.
Resignation, outside investigation, still ongoing. Well, that's interesting. What would cause him to just pull the plug and resign? And resign in the midst of an outside investigation. Gone girl. Gone good. That's a good one. Like gone. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want anybody asking any questions. They all want their privacy. Everybody wants their privacy. Here's the thing. When you're a bad actor, you don't necessarily get privacy anymore because now it's a matter of public interest and public corruption. So I guess it's bad. It's real bad. I guess it's real bad. Let's finish what they're saying. Let's listen to what the rest of this.
Resignation does not alter the. At the time of the resignation, an administrative investigation by an outside investigator was ongoing. The resignation does not alter the town's expectation that the outside investigator will provide a report documenting information gathered through the process to date.
So they're still going to render a report. They're still going to issue a report. Was it that Five Stones intelligence? Was it the same? Is it the same people who did that like ridiculous audit of the Canton Police Department, who said that the use of a leaf blower to blow gas fumes into the evidence and the use of solo cups was ingenious and a novel idea? Is it going to be the same people? Yeah, Goode's his head is on the his head. There's a picture of him on the thumbnail too. But they're still going to render a report, and you can bet that it's really, really, really bad. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm spitballing with you, but it's got to be really, really, really bad. We got solo cups. We got solo cups for emojis and leaf blowers and a puffy jacket, all of it. He's not retiring. He's not retiring. He's resigning. He quit. He waved the white flag. He's like, I'm out. I don't know if he has a pension. I don't know if he qualifies for a pension. I think you got to retire to get a pension. I don't know if you resign if you get a pension. So I don't know. I don't know if he's entitled to it. I have no idea. Let's listen. We're still gonna get a report at some point.
Massachusetts personnel and privacy laws limit what may be publicly shared regarding specific employment matters.
Really? So you're going to try and hide that too? Does he want his privacy with regard to what the findings are of this investigation against him? Wow. So you're gonna hide behind privacy laws now too. See, the Canton Select Board is the boss of the Canton Police Department. So that is what was so crazy too. If Tim Pool is still trying to figure out what the hell's going on here, tell him that Chris Albert ran for Canton Town Select Board. I don't know, maybe a year after the murder of John O'Keefe, right? Was it a year later? I'm not really sure. I thought it was like April of 2023. And so once he was on the Canton Select Board, he became one of the bosses of the Canton PD, where coincidentally, one of his other brothers, Kevin, is a detective. So that's wild, isn't it? I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, somebody said they're still waiting for an investigation into Lank. And so I don't know what the resignation means for his pension, if he's even qualified for it, if he has even put in the years. I really don't know. Right now, I don't want to misreport. So all I can tell you is that he resigned because that's what the Canton Select Board told us. All right, let's hear the rest of it.
The town will have no further, will provide a report documenting information gathered through the process to date. Massachusetts personnel and privacy laws limit what may be publicly shared regarding specific employment matters. The town will have no further comment at this time.
The town will have no further comment at that time. We ain't got no quit. You know who does? Wait, hold on a second. Oh, Gigi, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you for coming in and tossing in some cash apps. She says, Gigi will be back. Okay. All right, Gigi, come back. Come back, Gigi. Yeah. I'm not going to read that publicly, but then she sent a 50 and then another 20. She says, I wonder what Good wants from the ice cream truck. Well, here's the thing. See, we ain't got no quit, but you know who does? Sergeant Sean Good of the Canton Police Department. What's the body count up to at this point? From the fallout, the wake of the Karen Reed saga. Sheila says, Chris Albert, April 4th, 2023, Canton Select Board election. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. You guys are so collaborative here. Remember how Hank Brennan used to pronounce it collaborative? I do. Well, here we go. All right. Here's the list, courtesy of Joey Bag of Donuts. Joey Bag of Donuts has the list for us. Here it is. Let's see. Here's the list. Proctor, fired. Shannon Burgess, fired. Remember Shannon with one N, Burgess? Tully, disciplined. Buchanan, disciplined. Kevin Albert, disciplined. Dude, where's my gun? DeChico, reassigned. Kakowski, reassigned. Dever, resigned. Traub, resigned. Oh, but we learned that Michael Marcy just paid him $10,000 because he started his own PR firm. Stay tuned. Brian Albert, retired. Helena Rafferty, she was the chief of police, Canton PD, retired. Paul Gallagher, retired. Oh, remember when he came up? He was one of the only witnesses in trial 2 from Canton PD who testified because he's already retired and he's like in Florida playing golf and he was so tan. He retired. Berkowitz retired and then he passed, right? Guster Crazy was like, Melanie, please don't resign. Please don't resign. Would you vote for me? As your favorite YouTuber? Right on. Berkowitz retired and then now he's at the Endless Heaven buffet. Beeland made a beeline for it. She retired. We knew that too. Marcy is retiring. Cox, I don't know about Cox. I think there's been some, I'm not gonna say that that's 100% that Michael Cox, I think he's the chief of police for Boston PD, is retiring. I don't know if that's true or not. I think there was some kerfuffle about that. Sean Good resigned. Good. Oh, you guys, this is why you guys are the snark tank. Chicky Sorter says, good humor ice cream truck. I mean, how fast can somebody draw up a meme of the good humor, GOODE humor ice cream truck with Sean Good as the driver selling ice cream to children now? Maybe he goes to the same neighborhoods as the FBI ice cream truck and everyone wants ice cream now. Oh, right, exactly. I guess Jess says, who the hell can look at this list and think any of it is normal? Nothing here is normal. None of this is normal. This case, this Karen Reed case. Oh, and look, this tweet was all the way from January 12th of 2026. So that's crazy. And that was before before Sean Good was announced, which was just today. Who the hell can look at, none of this is normal. This is an actual unicorn. The Karen Reed case is a unicorn. And we've never seen anything like it. And I don't know if we ever will again. I just saw a great tweet, a great comment, but I have to find you because, oh, wait, hold on a second. It had frozen. All right. You and me, Cassidy. What a great name. You and me, Cassidy says, I'm a deadhead. Look, I have a Dead and Company shirt on right now. Wait, and now the chat on my, what is going on, man? What is going on, man? No nonsense. No nonsense, Scott. We don't tolerate any nonsense today. Hello to Nick and his viewers. Hello, Nick Starro and his viewers. Cassidy says something really great, and now I got to find it. We also have Grateful Dead emojis. We've got a Dancing Bear, and we've got a Steely, and we've got a Dave Matthews Fire Dancer. There it is. Good day, sir. GOODE. Good day, sir. That's from, that's from, right? That's from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You get nothing. You get nothing. Good day, sir. Good day, sir. Well done with the shamrock, all of it. Love it. Love it. DeChico is next. People are saying, I don't know. You're no good. You're no good. You're no good, baby. You're no good. You just couldn't make it up. Even Boston 25, that you're going to think this is funny. I know you will, because I know you guys. I know you guys. You're going to think this is funny. This was their breaking news as of 6 hours ago. Boston 25 has a piece on it already. They're already late. It was from yesterday. Here we go.
Well, we start this hour with breaking news. A Canton police sergeant who testified in the Karen Reed trial has resigned. The town of Canton confirms Sergeant Sean Goode submitted his resignation effective yesterday.
Sean Goode. It's not goody like the hair ties. It's good like good humor.
Goode was one of the officers who responded to the scene the night John O'Keefe died. His resignation was submitted during an ongoing internal affairs investigation by an outside investigator. He's been on paid administrative leave since last October because of allegations of misconduct. Town officials say his resignation letter does not alter the completion of the investigation.
Completion, Goody, completion. And that's it. And that's it. Is his resignation letter out yet? Because I can't wait to see that. Dear Canton PD, I quit. XOXO. Sean, not so good. Good and plenty. Well, Chris Albert didn't really resign from Canton Select Board. I think his term was up and he decided not to run again. Yes. Thank you. Nicole says there's 4,000, over 4,000, almost 4,500, 4481 watching live. Be a good viewer and hit the like button. XOXO. Steely. So we went over the complete fallout to date. Those are all the people. I just read them. If you just tuned in, I don't know anything about Colin going into the Army. Oh, he was sworn in. Oh, well, you're going to have to go to Aiden's to watch that, because I don't have that prepped for you and ready. But what I do have a couple other things, though. There was a 3:00 conference that I watched on Zoom in the O'Keefe versus Reed case. Has anybody posted that publicly yet? There was a prohibition against live streaming, and I did not want to get in trouble with Judge Gildea, so I did not live stream it. But sometimes our friend over at the Trial Channel does record it and then puts it up later, because I'm sure that they get permission. However, I did watch the entire thing, and so I can tell you exactly what happened. Trial Channel does have it. Thank you, Glarer. Will the Glarer. Oh, God, I was dying yesterday. I was dying with the edit that Jimmy made of your first shenanigans, your first shenanigan interview. Like, dude, you looked so scared, first of all. And Jimmy dressed up like that person and just did the voice, and it was the real voice, but whew, it was crazy. Oh, thank you to Trial Channel. Watch it. It's 25 minutes long. Judge Gildea is not happy. Judge Gildea is really mad. He's really mad, and he's not going to take it anymore, I don't think. And it's wild to me that these attorneys are still all dragging their feet. But I guess it's to be expected. Shout out to Spencer Pratt. I've been telling you guys, he didn't win outright, but it looks like he is going to face off against Karen Bass for the race of LA City mayor of LA. And how great is that? Hold on one second. I love an underdog, and I also love a guy who comes out and says that he's got the angry mom demographic and that all the polls are wrong because moms are too busy to answer the phone. Your sister's not answering the phone. And you don't run into the house? Your sister's not answering the phone. Good riddance. Well, I don't know. Perhaps they haven't exactly announced it yet. LA Mayor Bass will face either Spencer Pratt or Nithya Raman. Wait, I thought it was decided that it was going to be Spencer Pratt. I don't know. Are they going to pull some shenanigans or some shenanigans where they just like, it takes weeks, where it's going to take weeks for them to decide? Votes are still being counted on Wednesday, but the AP said that Bass had a big enough lead in Tuesday's primary to ensure she will be on the ballot in November. Spencer Pratt is the angry mom demographic. I really don't even know what political party he is. And the thing about the LA mayor's race is that there is no political party designation next to the candidate's name. So that's it. All right. But moving on. Let's go to let's see first. Here's what I wanted to show you. A couple things. We'll do the 3 p.m. conference first, and then I've got some filings in federal court for you. Karen Reed moved to amend her opposition to the anti-SLAPP motion filed by the HOS defendants in the federal case. And they're like, they do not want Nicole Albert's grand jury testimony to be made public. So they would not agree to allow Karen Reed's attorneys to amend their opposition, which is wild because the federal court judge is not going to look kindly upon that. But first, let me see where I put the funny stuff that I wanted to show you. All right, here we go. All right. Well, just, in case you don't know about the South Park episode, let me show it to you now. There's, and this, I thought this was so funny and so prophetic and so perfect that I really just wanted you to see it. So it's season 26, episode 2. It's about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and they want their privacy. And look at this. They move in right across the street from Kyle, and they go on a world privacy tour. Okay. And they're like, all this attention is so hard. They go on the morning show, Morning Canada. We just want to be normal people. And they've got signs that say, stop looking at us. Stop looking at us. We just want our privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy. And then they've got little picket signs. We want our privacy. Stop looking at us. But then they're going on the World Privacy Tour, which is hilarious, right? Stop looking at us. We want our privacy. And then it's called the Worldwide Privacy Tour, obviously a take on the Magical Mystery Tour. And then here's their house across the street from Kyle. And what is so funny about this, in my opinion, I think is freaking hilarious is, well, number one, it could be 34 Fairview, but look at them. Respect our privacy. The banners all over. Respect our privacy. And then the funniest part to me was the two of them curtain twitching, looking out the window. How funny is that? Do you see them curtain twitching? And so it just reminded me of the current case that we are following. There they are, looking out the window all day. Prince Harry's out there playing his drum set. It was so funny. And it just reminded me of this particular case where people who brought a defamation case, the curtain twitchers. It's like Matt and Jen McCabe constantly looking out the window. They knew exactly where Karen Reed's car was, before the mailbox, after the mailbox, by the flagpole where the body was found, looking at the curtain twitching all night long. Yeah, South Park, Colorado is a great town too. It is. And the creators of South Park are University of Colorado at Boulder alums. Alum. So there's that. I thought that perhaps South Park would get angry about the thumbnail because of their IP. That's what I thought. But anyway, let's get on over to the court hearing, because we'll do that first. Jen said, I still make people listen to you when I Uber. Oh, are you Ubering? That's hilarious. I love that so much. Thanks, Jen. Whoop. It says Indy Cindy, being here for 13 months. Derek Carney became a member because we love Derek Carney. Who doesn't? Oh, if you guys want pet portraits, I linked everything in the show that I did last. Derek Carney made a video about his pet portraits. If any of you want pet portraits, you go watch the video that's linked in the episode right before this one, and he will tell you exactly what to do if you would like him to draw your pet. It does kind of look like 34, right? Thank you, Emily, for your 5. Constable Ed has been here for 24 months and says, Good gave me a gift for my 2-year anniversary with you. Thanks, Good. Happy anniversary to us, Ed. On top, thanks for your super sticker. BB says, Mel, may we add another 227 to the list? Yesterday was exactly 2 years and 27 days since Good testified in the first trial. 227. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Aunt BB, thank you for your 20. I didn't do the math on it, but I'm going to trust you on that. If he testified 5/6/2024 and he resigned yesterday, It was 202 years and 27 days. So 2 years, 27 days. Wow. Thanks for your 20. And Kay Anderson said we need a new song, Resigning Men. Oh my God, that's great. Instead of It's Raining Men, Resigning Men. Well done. Let's just take a look at one article from Boston.com about Goode's resignation and see if there's anything new that they've reported. Please. And then we will watch today's conference in civil court with Judge Gildea in the O'Keefe versus Karen Reed Waterfall and C.F. McCarthy's case. Let's see. Canton police sergeant allegedly linked to Proctor texts has resigned. Sergeant Sean Goode, who worked the early investigation in Karen Reed's murder case, had been on leave since last fall amid an internal affairs probe into misconduct allegations. Oops. There he is. For those of you who forget what he looks like, there he is. Sergeant Sean Goode of the Canton PD gives testimony at the murder trial of Karen Reed in the Norfolk Superior Court in May of 2024. Aunt Beebe's telling us it's 2 years and 27 days later that he resigned. This was just updated this morning, June 3rd, 2026 at 11:46 a.m. A Canton police sergeant who worked the initial investigation into Karen Reed's murder case has resigned following allegations that he exchanged eyebrow-raising messages with the case's lead investigator, former Massachusetts State Police Trooper Michael Proctor. Sergeant Sean Goode submitted his resignation to the Canton PD effective Tuesday, town officials said in a statement. Goode had been on paid leave since last fall amid an internal affairs investigation into alleged misconduct. His resignation does not alter the completion of this investigation, which will be submitted to the town and Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission, POST, town officials said Wednesday. POST, the state police oversight body, is responsible for certifying law enforcement officers. Canton officials previously said they were notified on October 24th of Goode's alleged misconduct, which was discovered during an investigation into a former member of a different law enforcement agency. Michael Proctor. While the town has not offered further details, a filing from the Norfolk County DA's office indicated the same day, indicated Proctor's personal cell phone contained highly sensitive information, including images of intimate body parts. Right. That's right. Once a trooper based in the Norfolk DA's office, Proctor led the investigation into the death of Reed's boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Goode, meanwhile, was among the initial wave of police who responded to the scene when O'Keefe was found unresponsive on a snowy lawn in Canton in January 2022. Also, don't forget that Sean Goode, I believe, has ties to Kerry Roberts, right? Refresh my recollection. Did they live in the same neighborhood or something? I know that he was the recipient of the phone call from Kerry Roberts when she called in that morning to report that, you know, her friend's boyfriend was missing. She wanted to make sure nobody got picked up or brought in or to the hospital or anything. And then they were joking about some blizzard party. And he's like, oh, I wasn't there. I had to work. He did answer that call. And he also did answer, I think, 1 or 2 911 calls from Jennifer McCabe. So there's that. Was it Lank that she had? I don't remember. I don't remember what their connection was, but he did absolutely answer her phone call. Hold on. That's going to make me crazy. Here we go. He also had something to do with Dever because he was in the station and then he had Dever relieve him so he could go to the scene. Like there's a lot of whatever it is, I think is much deeper than any nudes that were being shared. That's my opinion. I mean, the guy's been on paid leave since October. Proctor previously come under fire for the vulgar text he sent about Reed to family, friends, and coworkers regarding the messages. Reading the messages aloud from the stand during Reed's 2024 mistrial. State police fired Proctor last year in light of his conduct during the case, while Reed was ultimately acquitted of murder and manslaughter charges following a 2025 retrial. Let me read that again a little bit louder for people in the back. Reed was ultimately acquitted of murder and manslaughter charges following a 2025 retrial. We were there. We saw that film twice. But Reed's legal troubles are far from over. She's now tied up in several pending civil lawsuits, including a wrongful death complaint from O'Keefe's family. Period. Reed's lawyers have also teased yet another civil lawsuit, this time against state police in the town of Canton for claims of negligent hiring, supervision, and training. Well, they're not really teasing it, but you know, because I've told you before, there are certain procedural things that have to be done before you can file a lawsuit against a town or a municipality, and they are still going through those procedural hoops. But they're not teasing it. They absolutely are going to file it. It just has not been filed yet. Proctor's cell phone data is central to those claims. Aaron Rosenberg, one of Reed's civil attorneys, told a judge in April. Well, he's got more things to say today. Aaron Rosenberg, we're going to see that in a moment. These communications are not private. They're not personal. They're not confidential, and they're not privileged, Rosenberg said at the time. But what they are is staggeringly anti-woman, racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, among other things. And that description applies to messages from both Mr. Proctor and Sergeant Good of the Canton Police Department. So it's both of them involved. Both of them. Rosemary Scapicchio, an attorney for two other murder defendants Proctor investigated, likewise accused the ex-trooper of sending racist messages. Quote, "He's a racist, really a racist person from the beginning," she said of Proctor. "He'll say things like, 'It's killing N-word in Canton Day.'" We heard it live in court, and we were blown away by that. The exact nature of Good's purported role in the text thread remains unclear, and Canton officials have not yet said whether Good's internal affairs probe is connected to the Reed case. Quote, "While we understand the public's interest in such matters, Massachusetts personnel and privacy laws limit what may be publicly shared regarding employment matters," Canton officials said Wednesday. The town will have no further comment at this time. Oh, there's Abby Patkin. She's the reporter. Thanks, Abby, for writing articles on such things of public interest that we are so interested in hearing more about. We can't wait until the information drops on Good, and it's going to become a public record at some point, right? Oh, thank you. Belinda says that Sergeant Good graduated with Courtney Proctor and Jill Daniels. Oh, he's a good boy. Goody, goody gumdrops. Goody, goody gumdrops. All right, let's go into court, courtesy of the Trial Channel. Thank you, Trial Channel, for doing the Lord's work for us, since I was going to get in trouble if I tried to do it. And this, once again, is the Zoom hearing from today. It was a compliance conference to make sure all the lawyers are complying with all of the judge's prior directives. And again, we got to see Judge Gildea up close and personal the other day, because he too has been assigned to the defamation case of all the HOS defendants against Karen Reed and Aiden Carney. And so we got to see him up close and personal last week because there was a real camera in the courtroom. This time, however, he's far away again, too far away, but he's in the lower right-hand Brady Bunch corner of your screen. In the top middle is Aaron Rosenberg, attorney for Karen Reed. We've seen him many, many times. His co-counsel, Damon Seligson, is in the bottom middle Brady Bunch square. Mark Diller, the plaintiff's attorney, and this is plaintiff's O'Keefe, is in the left middle row of your screen. And then we have the attorneys for Waterfall and CF McCarthy's. And I'm not really sure who this guy is on the right side middle, but he doesn't really say anything. His name is Lincoln Rose. I don't know who he works for or who he represents, but let's get into court and see what happened today in Plymouth Superior Court. And Judge Gildea is not happy. I'm just going to warn you now. Judge Gildea is mad because nobody's doing anything that they're supposed to be doing. And he doesn't like to have to be the bad guy, but I think he likes being the bad guy. All right, let me know that you can hear this. Shout out to Trial Channel, and here we go.
Civil action number 2483 CV00692, Paul O'Keefe, individually and personal representative of the estate of John Joseph O'Keefe III et al. Versus CNC Hospitality LLC, doing business as C&F McCarthy's et al. Your Honor, for the plaintiff, O'Keefe's, we have attorney Daniel Buck and attorney Mark Diller present by way of Zoom, as well as for the defendant, we have C&F McCarthy's, we have attorney Tamara Holstag and Lincoln Rose. For defendant Waterfall, we have attorney John Deely. For the defendant Reed, we have attorney Damon Seligson and attorney Aaron Rosenberg.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
So at one of our recent status conferences, there had been one deposition that had been conducted. I think the last time we got together, there had been 2 depositions conducted. So
I don't know who else they did. We only knew about Steve Scanlon, as far as I know.
I'm hoping there have been at least 4 conducted, but I guess I'll have to find that out. So why don't we start with Attorney Diller on behalf of the plaintiffs? What
Yes,
depositions have been taken?
We've taken all 3 of the depositions that have occurred to date, Your Honor.
So there have been no additional depositions since we last got together?
We took 2 depositions since we last got together. Some of the depositions that were also noticed had been canceled.
Remember that they filed this lawsuit all the way back in the summer 2024. So it's been pending. This lawsuit's been pending for almost 2 years, and Mark Diller has only done 3 depositions, and he's the only one who's done any. They're going to keep getting spanked every single time they go back in front of Judge Gildea, because he's not going to be happy about this.
Okay. What depositions do you have noticed that haven't taken place?
We have 12 additional depositions noticed that haven't taken place. One of which we had a meet and confer with the Reed team regarding the deposition of Paul Mikowski. We're trying to figure out whether or not we need to move forward with that deposition.
Paul Mikowski, correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will. Wasn't Paul Mikowski the PI on retainer with David Yanetti's office, I believe? And what did Paul Mikowski have to do with this? Was he the one who spoke with Steve Scanlon? I mean, dude, Mr. Diller, Attorney Diller, counselor, you're a plaintiff's lawyer. You don't get paid until you collect money on this case, if ever, if ever. These are the people you're going to waste your time and money deposing first? It blows my mind. Oh, he also spoke to Lucky. Thank you, Amanda. All girls are here. He also spoke to Lucky. Okay, really? I mean, this is what you're going to waste your time and money on? How about trying to prove defamation? Well, this isn't a defamation lawsuit. Wait, retract that. Withdrawn. How about trying to prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a car? That's what you got to prove here. You got to prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a car and that Karen killed him with her car. That's what you got to prove. I don't know how Steve Scanlon's deposition is going to help you prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a car. I don't know how Paul Mikowski's deposition is going to help you prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a car. Do any of you know why those would be important depositions? I mean, what? This is very confusing. There's a lot of cases here. So yes, I misspoke. Make me trend on Twitter again.
Or whether that's going to become an issue that's live for trial. We also were asked to take the deposition of Karen Reed off for the June 19th, and we're trying to put that on for June 24th, Your Honor.
It's Juneteenth.
Attorney Rosenberg, why does that deposition have to be taken off?
Well, because June 19th is a federal holiday, Your Honor, and multiple offices are closed. So we're not, first of all, it was noticed first in, I believe, mid to late July. And then Mr. Diller re-noticed it for June, which is fine if the date's available. But he picked a date where offices are closed and it's a federal holiday and we are not available. We are fine with rescheduling.
I wonder
in fact,
how many, I wonder how many of the attorneys on the Zoom call have their offices open on that day?
Listen, Juneteenth is a relatively new holiday, okay? It's June 19th. Law firms rarely close, but when they do, they usually close on court holidays. However, there were a couple of court holidays that we did keep our office open because, you know, it's a good day to get work done when you don't have to be in court. So I wonder if anybody's going to raise their hand and say, yeah, our office is open, because the judge is like, why can't you do it? You should do it.
I don't know the answer to that, Your Honor, but I know it's a federal holiday, and if one party determines that they're going to hold a deposition on a federal holiday and the others aren't available, that seems relatively reasonable to me. As I was saying, though, we provided additional dates.
Hang on, Attorney Rose.
Hang on, is that the same day as the big HOS defendants gala? Emily C is here. Hi, oh my God, Emily. Amazing interview with Adam Deitch. I watched much of it live. I didn't have time to watch the whole entire thing yet, but I can't wait to go back and watch it. If you guys did not see, Emily, our girl Emily got the big interview with Adam Deitch, and it was great. So go back over there and watch it if you can after this. Don't leave now. I guess that's the same day as their gala.
Rosenberg, just keep in mind in all the discussions we're having today, the context of this case and where we stand and how long discovery has been ongoing and how few depositions have taken place. That's the background that I'm coming from. So it wouldn't surprise me if an attorney would decide to take a day that would be open for most people to conduct a deposition. But your office is closed, so that's fine. I guess it's not going to go forward on that day.
But also, respectfully,
he's pissed. It's like, yeah, you know, you really should be doing it that day. But you know what? All right, fine. Don't do it that day. And the lawyers are like, Judge, we hardly get any days off ever.
Your Honor, the case has been going on for different parties for different lengths of time. My clients only had active discovery pending for a year. Mr. Diller chose one date and then rescheduled to another date. And the second date he chose happened to be a federal holiday. We proposed 4 other dates earlier than what Mr. Diller had first chosen, and we are willing to reschedule it. The only reason that that date doesn't work is because of the particular date that he chose. So we are happy.
So what dates do you have before June 19th?
Before June 19th, I believe we don't have any, because the vast majority of them are taken up with scheduled depositions.
Speaking is Aaron Rosenberg. He's one of Karen Reed's attorneys. He's in the top right. It's hard to see who's speaking, but that's who's speaking right now.
This isn't directed just to you, Attorney Rosenberg, but it's just beyond belief to me the number of experienced lawyers involved in this case, the length the case has been pending for however long it's been pending for all parties. And even if it's only been pending for Ms. Reed for a year, that there are so few depositions that have taken place.
Can I address that?
No, Attorney Rosenberg, I don't need to hear all the details. I don't need to hear the nitpicking that someone canceled a deposition, that they put it on a holiday. With all due respect, I don't need to hear that. What I need to hear is going forward, how you're going to get the discovery done.
That's what I'd like to address. That's what I would like to address.
Go ahead.
Talk to the hand, says the
I just
judge.
want to give you an example, and I'm not looking to nitpick, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear an example of what happened. I
don't like talking over them. So if I'm going to make jokes, I'm going to stop. The judge is like, talk to the hand. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Remember that? Talk to the hand. I'm dating myself, but what else? It's beyond belief that you can't get more depositions done. It's like, do you want to keep getting spanked by the judge every single time? Look, it's really hard. It's really hard to get this many attorneys together all in the same day. And the harder part is getting the witnesses to show up, which you're going to hear about in a minute. Because all the HOS defendants have told them that they're not going to be available until sometime after July 17th. Why July 17th? I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can figure that out. I think it's July 17th. And they're just like, yeah, we're not coming. We're not showing up. The parties all have to be deposed. The difference between a noticed deposition and a subpoena, one is court ordered, one is not. They're going to come to that. So keep that in mind.
Going forward, how you're going to get the discovery done.
That's what I'd like to address. That's what I would like to address.
Go ahead.
So I just want to give you an example, and I'm not looking to nitpick, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear an example of what happened. I want to know what's going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain to you, Your Honor. If you'd let me just say that. So, for example, we had depositions of the following 6 individuals noticed.
Attorney Rosenberg, I don't care what has happened now. All right.
No, I'm talking about in the future.
It's obvious that the parties are having difficulty working together. So what I want to hear from all of you is what you're going to do to get this done.
That's what I'm addressing.
What you're going to do to get this done from your perspective.
That's what I'm trying to address, Your Honor. If you would please let me explain. We have 6 depositions that are currently scheduled in the future for the following 6 individuals who are major witnesses in this case from my client's perspective. Brian and Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, Allie McCabe, and Brian Higgins. They've been noticed and subpoenaed for a month. Last night at 9:35 p.m., we received an email from the single attorney or firm that is representing those 6 individuals telling us none of them are available for the dates on their subpoenas. And with one minor exception, none of them are available prior to July 20th. So respectfully, that it's not nitpicking, I believe, to say that the reason that we've had trouble taking depositions in this case is because this is not the first time that the witnesses have, in our view, played games with the scheduling. And so
okay, so July 20th, none of them are going to be available until July 20th. It's interesting. He said 6 of them. Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe, Allie McCabe, and Brian Higgins. I thought COLIN would be one of those. He's not. So the 6 of them called, right before close of business yesterday and said, yeah, or their attorney did. I'm assuming it was Tuxbury, and said, yeah, we're not coming. And we're not going to be available until anytime after July 20th. So too bad, so sad. We're not coming. Part of the privacy tour.
I'm not interested in coming to you every time this happens, Your Honor, but if you want to know why we are struggling to take depositions, it's because third parties are not showing up for subpoena deposition dates. And there's already one motion to compel that has already been served as to the first of those witnesses that you will receive probably in a week or so. And once we confer on this email that came in at 9:35 tonight or last night, unfortunately, it appears you're likely to see a number of other motions to compel on this. And we will, per your instructions in the past, we will do that quickly and we'll get them to you as soon as we can.
So a valid point, but answer this question for me. What was the date that those individuals were first noticed for deposition?
The 6 individuals that I just listed?
Yes.
I don't know off the top of my head. I know their subpoenas were served a month ago.
I bet Attorney Seligson probably is pulling it up on his computer right now as his eyes are casted downward. So maybe he can let you know.
Doing my best, Judge.
A month ago. What's that?
I'm doing my best to get you that information, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So a month ago, those people were first noticed a month ago.
No, subpoenaed, Your Honor. I said subpoenaed. I said I don't know off the top of my head when they were noticed, but they received subpoenas a month ago for their depositions that are supposed to be in, I believe, in the next week or two. So that's about, 5 weeks in advance?
So I guess you're all going to have to engage in motion practice if you can't get people to show up for depositions.
Agreed.
All right? So you have 6 depositions noticed. Do you have any others than those?
Oh, yeah, we have. Yes, Your Honor. We have.
Oh, yeah.
So this Monday, we have the deposition of Michael Proctor.
Next Monday is Proctor deposition day. To those of you who celebrate, put it on your calendar. I don't think, you think he's going to show up? I doubt it.
had a deposition scheduled for the 10th, which is one of the ones I just described to you. We have I don't need to go through each of them, but yes, there are additional depositions we have beyond those folks. I believe probably 3 or 4 more, including the plaintiffs.
When are the plaintiffs available for deposition, Mr. Diller?
They're currently scheduled the beginning of next month.
And Attorney Diller, what depositions do the plaintiffs have noticed in addition to what has been talked about?
We've noticed
Jamie Sepulveda says, why is Diller always in ASMR mode? Let him know if you agree. Thanks for being here for 4 months, dude. Here's who they have noticed for depositions, okay? Typically in a regular plaintiff's lawsuit, typically the plaintiffs are deposed first. I don't know what is going on here. This is like a whole new world. It's upside down, inside out, Narnia, Massachusetts. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I have some new little logos for the upper right-hand corner. So I think we should, now's a good time. Now's a good time to start with one of the new ones here, which is the curtain twitchers looking out the window during their privacy tour. Can you see it? Can you see it up there in your corner? Courtesy of South Park. Okay. Listen to who Mark Diller wants depositions of that he has sent out notice. A notice of deposition is basically a letter sent to the person that you want to depose that says, we hereby notice you. We're giving you notice that we want to take your deposition on such and such a day at such and such a place. It is typically not court ordered. The way it works in New York is that once you file for a preliminary conference and you go in and you sign a preliminary conference order, the dates that you pick for depositions are then court ordered. And if you don't show up, you could get in trouble. So you can send out notices, to Kingdom Come, and people don't really have to show up until it's really court ordered. But if you're served with a subpoena, you should take that seriously and you should probably show up. But again, nothing is normal in upside down, inside out Narnia of what is now Plymouth County, Massachusetts. Here's who Diller wants depositions of.
We've noticed Karen Reed, Caitlin Boudreau, Aiden Carney, Janet Reed, Nathan Reed, William Reed, multiple witnesses from CF McCarthy's, multiple.
Okay. Riddle me this, Diller man. How is deposing Caitlin Boudreau, I think, is Nathan's, Karen's brother's wife or ex-wife? I don't know. Or girlfriend? I don't know. How is taking the deposition of Caitlin Boudreau, Karen Reed's parents, Janet and Bill Reed, Nathan Reed, and Aiden Carney going to help you prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a car? How? Answer. It's not. It's wild. Multiple witnesses from CF McCarthy's and the waterfall. Again, how is that proving that John O'Keefe was hit by a car? It's not. How about maybe the first witness that you should call or depose is like the medical examiner? Something that has to do with the fact that maybe she'll say, maybe he was hit by a car, but it didn't come from a fight. It's insane. It's a Hail Mary. It's a Hail Mary. We have baby Mary now. We have tiny Mary and tiny Jesus. Tiny Mary escaped. I have to find her.
Witnesses from Waterfall. And we have an outstanding deposition that we had scheduled for last week that was canceled by the Reed team based on a meet and confer. And we're going to figure out whether that has to go back onto the calendar.
So with respect to the people from McCarthy, did you consult with Attorney Holstag before you scheduled them?
We have been in constant communication, Your Honor, yes. And multiple witnesses
Rosenberg is laughing.
that I
It's like,
just mentioned had
hold on, I just
private
want to see his face again.
counsel
How do
that
you,
is
what do you consider
Attorney
constant
Holstad
communication?
before you scheduled them.
We have been in constant communication, Your Honor, yes. And multiple witnesses that I just mentioned had
Believe this
private
guy.
counsel that is not the Reed team here. We had coordinated dates with them based on that outside lawyer's availability together with the availability of the deponents. So those dates were scheduled in a meet and confer with the counsel who represents Karen Reed's family, which is not the Attorney Reed's team here today. So we met with them and set dates based on what they told us their availability is and based on everybody's availability. It's worth noting, Your Honor, and I appreciate the concern that this court has, and it's equally a concern, but to date, there have been 27 canceled depositions, of which
I don't want to hear people pointing fingers or any of that stuff. It's just not productive.
I hear you.
Nobody likes a tattletale, Diller.
So let me ask Attorney Daly and Attorney Holstad, I assume your employees or company representatives, you've consulted with whoever wants to depose them and you've indicated when they'll be available. Are there other people that you seek to depose that you have noticed and you're having difficulty with? Attorney Holstad?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, in answer to your first question, we've been in consultation with Attorney Diller and his team. We are making our folks available, and the first of our witnesses, one of the co-owners of CF McCarthy's, was deposed last Friday. In addition, the folks that we intend to depose would be, of course, the plaintiffs that brought suit against CF McCarthy's. And then we have some witnesses, third-party witnesses that were present at either our bar the evening in question or at Waterfalls. Two of those witnesses that were at Waterfalls were noticed for deposition today, and subpoenas are going out today.
Attorney Daly?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In addition to people that are already noticed by other parties, Your Honor, we have 3 witnesses that are noticed for deposition in July, who again were bar patrons of one bar or the other, as well as the state police toxicologist, Your Honor, involved in the Karen Reed investigation. Hold
on a second. First of all, yes, that's who he reminds me of, Hannah. The Property Brothers. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, he reminds me of somebody. This guy, I'm not sure what his name is.
Involved.
Lincoln Rose. He reminds me of the Property Brothers. That's it. That's it. But hold on. Look at I gotta clip this right here and make it into a little logo so we can put him in the upper right-hand corner. Look at the face. Look at the face on Mark Diller. Listen, if you're Mark Diller and you want to prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a car, wouldn't you want to depose Jennifer McCabe first? Wouldn't Jennifer McCabe be your best witness? Because Jennifer McCabe is going to come in and testify that Karen Reed confessed. She said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Why wouldn't those people be your first depositions? What the hell do you need Nathan Reed and Bill Reed and Janet Reed to give depositions for? And Caitlin Boudreaux, who I'm not sure even who she is. Wouldn't you want all of the people who Karen Reed allegedly confessed to so you could try and at least prove a car accident? This just goes to show you that they too, it seems, Mark Diller's office, it seems, and the O'Keefe family are also protecting the HOS defendants and keeping their privacy because they don't seem to want Jennifer McCabe's deposition. Kerry Roberts' deposition, the people that, Karen told to Google hypothermia. Why wouldn't you do those depositions first? It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. Just like everything else in season 3.
Karen Reed investigation.
And when is that last deposition scheduled for?
The state police toxicologist is scheduled right now for notice for July 10th, Your Honor.
He's smart. he wants the state police toxicologist to come in so he can rip him to shreds about his extrapolation. Because he's trying to say, we didn't overserve her. She wasn't even drunk, because this is extrapolation math by the Massachusetts State Police toxicologist is BS. At least he's got his head screwed on straight.
Can you
Is
all,
there a difference between noticed and scheduled?
No, Your Honor.
On the good ship
Honor,
lollipop.
Apparently there is.
pardon,
Go ahead.
just to add one other thing, Your Honor. The other owner of CF McCarthy's is presently scheduled, and we've conferred with Mr. Diller for July 2nd.
Were the two owners, were they there that night?
One was.
Like, who cares? Why does Diller want to depose both owners of the waterfall and CF McCarthy's? Who cares? They weren't even there. They've got nothing to say that is pertinent to this case. Robert B., you win, says, on the good ship lollipop. Oh, we need merch. We need a lot of merch.
What, if anything, can the court do to help the parties other than to act expeditiously on any motions that may come before me?
That's all from our perspective, Your Honor.
We'll involve the court with some of the issues that we have outstanding and ask the court's indulgence to act expeditiously.
He's going to start beating them over the head with court orders. Looming mess. No, this is the O'Keefe versus Reed status conference. See how it says that up in the upper left-hand Brady Bunch square? This is today's status conference on O'Keefe versus Reed wrongful death car accident case, which is really not a car accident, but they're doing depositions of everyone who has nothing to add about whether or not there was a car accident. So it seems to me like this is just intended to harass the Reed family, but that's just me, just making stuff up, apparently. Why? Again, I could say it again, but I'm not going to, because you heard me the first 2 times. Thank you. Thank you, Looming Mess, for asking.
So what motions have been sent out under 9A and can I expect to receive shortly?
From Ms. Reed, Your Honor, I believe the only pending one right now is a motion to compel production and deposition of Colin Albert. Then there is, I believe it's likely that you'll see similar motions relating to the 6 other individuals that I listed.
So the only one who's got a motion to compel is for Colin Albert. You guys are telling me that he enlisted in the Army? This is the first I'm hearing of it. I can't believe it. And so I think that they need to compel him to appear for a deposition before he gets shipped off to, I guess, boot camp.
But we just found out last night that they're apparently unavailable.
I didn't hear the last part of that.
Sorry, as I said earlier, we've only just found out last night that they're apparently unavailable, so that motion hasn't been served.
Did the notice of unavailability indicate any reason or other than they just can't be there?
It says, with respect to the depositions, our clients are not available on the dates proposed in the subpoenas. And then their availability is as follows: almost entirely July and late July and August. That's it. So we'll confer and try to work that out and get them sooner than that. But if not, you should expect those motions.
Bridget, thank you for gifting 5 members.
Attorney Seligson, did you find the date when they were first noticed?
Yes, Your Honor, they were noticed. Depositions went out on May 5th for various dates in June and May.
It's like, I got you.
And Attorney Rosenberg or Attorney Seligson, how did they get kicked over beyond that? Because it's June already.
Those are the dates that, so Colin Albert refused to appear and refused to produce documents, said his attorney said he was unavailable, and then out of the blue said, now he's only available for another 7 days and then he's gone for the rest of your discovery period. So that was that deposition. The other ones
Guess he's shipping off to boot camp within a week. I don't know.
are the ones that I've been referring to today. They've gotten kicked out because we just found out that they're apparently unavailable.
It's good to hear that someone's paying attention to what the deposition discovery deadline is.
Right, Colin Albert's lawyer. You see how that was, how snarky that was from the judge? He's like, yeah, our guy's going to be gone for longer than your discovery order, because he's watching the Zoom conferences too. I'm not sure if it's, who was Colin Albert's lawyer? Joe Krowski? Yeah. I don't know if it still is, but you know, military service may excuse him from a deposition. I don't know. I'd have to pull up, I'd have to find the rule. He may, you know, you're in the Army, you're in boot camp, you get shipped off somewhere. They don't have to bring you back for a deposition. Okay. So, it makes it, when did he decide that he's being rehomed? That's right. Colin is being rehomed, but his lawyer knows about the discovery deadline in this case. Yeah. He's not going to be back in time for your deadline. That's why he's joining the Army. I mean, that's why he decided to enlist. I mean, that's why. Listen to that again.
Recovery period. So that was that deposition. And then he used to produce documents, said his attorney said he was unavailable, and then out of the blue said, now he's only available for another 7 days, and then he's gone for the rest of your discovery period. So that was that deposition. The other ones are the ones that I've been referring to today. They've gotten kicked out because we just found out that they're apparently unavailable.
It's good to hear that someone's paying attention to what the deposition discovery deadline is. I'm sure you all are as well, and I anticipate there are going to be motions forthcoming, but nothing's guaranteed here.
From our perspective, Your Honor, all we're trying to do is get it done in the current deadline. I mean, we're with you, and that's why the dates we got last night aren't workable, because it's going to jam everyone up on this call.
No, they cannot stop Colin from going into the Army, Carrie. No, they cannot. They can, and you know, thank him for his service. Maybe they should have rehomed him the same way they rehomed Chloe. At least they could be together.
Necessarily. So we'll try to figure it out. If we can't, we'll bring it to you quickly.
Your Honor, I don't agree with what has been created as a record here today, but I'm not looking to get specific unless this court wants me to, but I just want to say that I don't believe that what was created as a record here for you today is an accurate assessment of how things have transpired, notably with the Colin Albert deposition, as well as with some of these other ones.
How would you know that?
Well, I know.
Wait, Rosenberg's face is everything right now. Hold on. I missed this earlier when I was on the actual Zoom. Hold on. I gotta zoom in for you so you can see Rosenberg and Diller in one frame. Here we go.
Me too, but I just want to say that I don't believe that what was created as a record here for you today is an accurate assessment of how things have transpired, notably with the Colin Albert deposition, as well as with some of these other ones.
Rosenberg, wait for it.
How would you know that?
Well, I know that because we conducted the deposition of Colin Albert last week. And what had happened originally was that deposition was scheduled.
Wait, what? They did Colin Albert's deposition last week? Wait, what? Was Rosenberg not there? What is going on? He said he filed a motion to compel. What do you mean you did his deposition last week? By yourself? Hold on a second. Diller, whose side are you on? You should be deposing Jen McCabe and Carrie Robertson and everyone in Peggy's Angels. Because they're all going to tell you that Karen Reed hit John with her car.
How would you know that?
What was created as a record here for you today is an accurate assessment of how things have transpired, notably with the Colin Albert deposition, as well as with some of these other ones.
How would you know that?
Well, I know that because we conducted the deposition of Colin Albert last week. And what had happened originally was that deposition was scheduled in February. It was noticed in February. We blocked the time to have it occur in late April. There was never any subpoena. So that's why I'm using the distinction between a notice of deposition to us. And we were of the impression professionally that we were going to block our calendar and prepare for those depositions, to which we did. That deposition was supposed to take place, I want to say, on or about April 29th. At the 11th hour, that deposition was canceled, and I'm told it was canceled by the Reed team. Then it was never renoticed or put back on the calendar. Sometime on...
Hang on, Attorney Diller.
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point in the future, I'm going to be asking in response to requests for more time, exactly what transpired in the past relative to various prospective deponents. So I'll have a chance to look at all of that. But, and again, I don't mean to be dismissive, and I hate to use the word nitpicking, but I just don't want to hear it at this point. That
I understand, Your Honor.
Pointing fingers. So what productive things can we talk about today?
Okay, so was his deposition done or was it not done? I don't even understand what he just said.
Let me ask this question. Are any of the counsel on the Zoom call, do they have scheduled vacations that are going to interfere with completing discovery?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
Because I know I made a comment about you ruining your own summers, but I'm not here to ruin someone's pre-planned vacation. But hearing that there are none, that's good. So now we can keep moving forward. What else does anyone want to talk about today? All right,
If you
so
want-
let's pick another date.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, nothing. You had just asked earlier, but we can table that and you'll see it forthcoming that there'll be some motions in the near future.
So what are those motions, Attorney Diller?
Well, I can tell you that as of now, we served a motion to compel, we have a keeper of records subpoena outstanding with Aidan Carney. We also,
Well, that's interesting. They want Aidan Carney to come in as the keeper of records. Keeper of records for what? Every single video that he's done, or or his phone extraction that was stolen from him or leaked by people that your clients maybe know. You want him to come in and authenticate his phone extraction? That would be nearly impossible, because who knows if it's been doctored, proctored, or otherwise altered, maybe even by Colleen Crawford's special equipment and programs that she spent $20,000 of Norfolk County taxpayer money to get before, in between trial number 1 and 2 and before trial 1. And you're having him come in and testify as a keeper of records? That's insane.
so simultaneously and concurrently filed a motion to intervene in the criminal court to get access to materials that are reasonably calculated to lead discovery of admissible evidence in this case, in the Aidan Carney criminal matter. We have that, those subpoenas were outstanding. They have lapsed. We've never heard from Mr. Carney, but we're confident he's received them because he's gone extensively on his program and talked about his receipt of our subpoenas.
Okay,
So-
but that's a criminal case, right?
No, we subpoenaed him as a keeper of record in this case. We also simultaneously sought to go in through the criminal case and subpoena the Norfolk District Attorney's Office.
Mhm.
There may be
Okay, so
overlap, there may not be.
in the case that I'm involved in and I'm overseeing, if you subpoenaed something and you didn't get what you wanted, file a motion. all right?
That's
And we'll
pending.
put it on for an expedited hearing.
Yeah, we've served at 9A, Your Honor. So I just wanted you asked to tee that up, and I just wanted to let you know.
His program.
Okay. Anyone else?
Just a presentation.
Attorney
Great.
Buck and Attorney Rose, you want to get out of this without saying anything?
The judge is kind of funny. Sometimes he's snarky. Yeah, Aiden was not there on January 29th of 2022. He didn't even start covering this case until April of 2023, after Jennifer McCabe was visited by the FBI ice cream truck, which is interesting too. And she lied, even though she wasn't being harassed at that point by Aiden Carney. But you can see that Mark Diller is trying to maybe help the HOS defendants, and that could be a bit of a conflict for him, because these should be the percipient witnesses in his case to prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a car. And he's also up, this creek without a paddle because he didn't sue them. He did not sue any of the HOS defendants. And as a plaintiff's lawyer, you usually sue everybody, sue everyone, and then you sort it out later. And the fact that he did not sue anyone inside the house at 34 Fairview, because we know that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, and a car did not hit John O'Keefe, and the experts said so, the doctors said so, the accident reconstructionist said so. And so something else happened to him, Mr. Diller. And if you did not sue any of those people, and it does come out that they had something to do with the death of John O'Keefe, you're going to be sued for malpractice. It's a problem.
Happy to say good afternoon, but with this group, less is often more.
He gets it.
Second that, Your Honor.
All right, so let's pick a date. Are there any depositions scheduled on June 30th?
Yes.
Thanks, Iceman.
How about June 29th?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
I guess I could say June 19th, but I know the court's not going to be open, so.
Right.
He knows it now.
How about July 1st?
Yes.
Tootses.
Deposition.
I already heard July 2nd is one scheduled.
Yes.
I won't torture you and ask about July 3rd.
I think we've got one scheduled.
We've got deposition scheduled on July 3rd.
How about June 26th?
I'm not available.
Well, we have a deposition scheduled currently. That's one of the ones that may be subject to a motion to compel.
Yes, one of the
Okay,
McCabe's.
so
Or Albert's.
someone look at their calendar and figure out someday in the second to last week of June that there's no deposition scheduled.
25th.
25th?
I'm
25th.
okay. I won't be available. I'll see if somebody else on my team will fill my stead.
Great. I'm sure there'll be a lot of volunteers. How about June 25th at 3 p.m.?
Works for Waterfall, Your Honor.
Great. Hearing no objections, we'll see everyone then. And again, I encourage you, if you're going to file motions, get them in so we can get a hearing date put on the books.
Get her done.
All right?
Get her done, he
Judge.
says.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Get her
Thank
done.
you, Your
Very
Honor.
much. Have a nice day.
Next conference in this O'Keefe versus Reed matter is going to be June 25th at 3 p.m. I am still unclear about whether Colin Albert actually did give his deposition yesterday. I think I need to rewind it unless anybody can tell me what we just witnessed. Because if there's a motion to compel outstanding, that means he did not give his deposition. So did he sit or not? Right. I need to know. I'm going to rewind it
To Your
Thank
Honor.
you all for the
because we have to do this in real time so we can all figure it out together. We're all in this together. All right, Colin Albert. Let's start talking about Colin Albert. This is where he starts talking. Aaron Rosenberg starts talking about Colin Albert, and then Mark Diller butts in and says, no, that's not accurate, what he said about Colin Albert. So let's listen to the beginning of Rosenberg's speech.
Were the two owners, were they there that night?
All right, that he's talking about the bars.
One was.
What, if anything, can the court do to help the parties other than to act expeditiously on any motions that may come before me?
It's sped up a little bit.
That's all from our perspective, Your Honor.
We'll involve the court with some of the issues that we have outstanding and ask the court's indulgence to act expeditiously.
So what motions have been sent out under 9A and can I expect to receive shortly?
From us, from Ms. Reed, Your Honor, I believe the only pending one right now is a motion to compel production and deposition of Colin Albert.
Okay, a motion to compel production and deposition of Colin Albert. If that motion is still outstanding, that means that it could mean that maybe he showed up for the deposition, but he didn't produce the records that they wanted him to produce. For example, maybe they said, give us your phone, or bring us your phone extraction, or bring in the screenshots that you tested. You know, maybe there were some records that they wanted him to bring that he didn't bring, but he did do the deposition, because otherwise they would be withdrawing that motion. And he says it's still pending. Okay, that's Rosenberg. He's Reed's attorney.
And there is, I believe it's likely that you'll see similar motions relating to the 6 other individuals that I listed.
Okay, the 6 other individuals that he listed are all of the other Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Matt McCabe, Jen McCabe, Allie McCabe, and Brian Higgins, who at 9:35 p.m. last night sent in their lawyer sent an email to Aaron Rosenberg saying, yeah, they're not showing up for the date that you told them to come for their depositions, and none of them are going to be available until after July 20th.
But we just found out last night that they're apparently unavailable.
I didn't hear the last part of that.
Sorry, I said, as I said earlier, we've only just found out last night that they're apparently unavailable, so that motion hasn't been served yet.
Did the notice of unavailability indicate any reason or other than they just can't be there?
It says, with respect to the depositions, our clients are not available on the dates proposed in the subpoenas, and then their availability is as follows: almost entirely July and late July and August. That's it. So we'll confer and try to work that out and get them sooner than that. But if not, you should expect those motions.
Attorney Seligson, did you find the date when they were first noticed?
Yes, Your Honor. They were noticed. Depositions went out on May 5th.
Like been 60 days.
For various
almost.
dates in June and May.
Maybe they're all going on vacation
Rosenberg
together.
or Attorney Seligson, how did they get kicked over beyond that? Because it's June already.
Those are the dates that, so Colin Albert refused to appear and refused to produce documents.
Okay, Colin Albert refused to appear and refused to produce documents. So why is Dillard then going to say that Colin Albert was deposed last week? Those two things are conflicting. I'm not hearing things right. Listen again.
It's June already.
Those are the dates that, so Colin Albert refused to appear and refused to produce documents, said his attorney said he was unavailable, and then out of the blue said, now he's only available for another 7 days, and then he's gone for the rest of your discovery period. So that was that deposition. The other ones are
okay. So he refused to appear and he refused to produce the documents. And look at. Okay, somebody needs some Mylanta.
The ones that I've been referring.
Look at. Oh my God, he just rolled his eyes. I roll. If you don't like me stopping and rewinding and making jokes, you can go over to Trial Channel and watch it uninterrupted at your leisure. So don't, get on the comment train of, I hate how you always stop it, not even to say anything. It's so annoying. Okay, listen. Then his attorney said he's only available for 7 days. You guys are telling me he got sworn into the Army last night? Then maybe they told him that he's getting shipped off in 7 days. Look at Dillard's face.
To appear and refused to produce documents, said his attorney said he was unavailable, and then out of the blue said, now he's only available for another 7 days, and then he's gone for the rest of your discovery period. So that was that deposition. The other ones are the ones that I've been referring to today.
Why are you eye rolling about Colin Albert, Mr. Diller? Like, he's not on your side. He's a third-party witness. You should want his deposition. You should want his documents. Because in the defamation case, all of those same people are going to have to prove that they did not kill John O'Keefe. And so you would think he would be anxious to show up and prove his innocence. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Look, here's my Life 360 data. Here's where I was. My Life 360 data, my location data from my phone shows that I was nowhere near 34 Fairview at the time that John O'Keefe was murdered. That I was out of there by 12:10. Look, I've got location data. I can prove it. I've got metadata from my text messages with Allie, my Life 360. All of it can prove that I wasn't even there. See, I didn't do it. Wouldn't that be the MO of a person who's a plaintiff also in a defamation case, that he could prove and say it wasn't me, it couldn't have been me because I wasn't even there? But just like, that's too obvious. It's too obvious. Why is Diller eye rolling about Colin Albert? It's so weird.
We've gotten kicked out because we just found out that they're apparently unavailable.
It's good to hear that someone's paying attention to what the deposition discovery deadline is. I'm sure you all are as well, and I anticipate there are going to be motions forthcoming, but nothing's guaranteed here.
From our perspective, Your Honor, all we're trying to do is get it done in the current deadline. I mean, we're with you, and that's why the dates we got last night aren't workable, because it's going to jam everyone up on this call unnecessarily. So we'll try to figure it out. If we can't, we'll bring it to you quickly.
Your Honor, I don't agree with what has been created as a record here today.
Oh, I'm sorry. You need to correct the record on behalf of Colin Albert? You don't even represent him, dude. You need to correct the record on behalf of Brian Albert, Jen McCabe, Nicole Albert, Matt McCabe, Allie McCabe, and Brian Higgins. Why are you correcting the record on their behalf, sir? You do not represent them.
But I'm not looking to get specific unless this court wants me to, but I just want to say that I don't believe that what was created as a record here for you today is an accurate assessment of how things have transpired, notably with the Colin Albert deposition, as well as with some of these other ones.
How would you know that?
Well, I know that because we conducted the deposition of Colin Albert last week.
What?
And what had happened originally was that deposition was scheduled in February. It was noticed in February. We blocked the time to have it occur in late April. There was never any subpoena. So that's why I'm using the distinction between a notice of deposition to us. And we were of the impression professionally that we were going to block our calendar and prepare for those depositions, to which we did. That deposition was supposed to take place, I want to say, on or about April 29th. At the 11th hour, that deposition was canceled.
By who?
And I'm told it was canceled by the Reed team. Then it was never renoticed or put back on the calendar. Sometime on...
Hang on, Attorney Diller. I'm sure at some point in the future,
And it was never renoticed or put back on the calendar. Sometime on...
Hang on, Attorney Diller.
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point in the future, I'm going to be asking in response to requests from...
Now he's got a migraine. This Zoom conference brought to you by Extra Strength Motrin, Pepto-Bismol. Give me a third one. You can't make this up. You just can't make this up. He is simping for Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Matt McCabe, Jen McCabe, Allie McCabe, Brian Higgins, and Colin Albert all at the same time.
For more time. Exactly what transpired in the past relative to various prospective deponents. So I'll have a chance to look at all of that. But, and again, I don't mean to be dismissive, and I hate to use the word nitpicking, but I just don't want to hear it at this point. That
I understand, Your Honor.
Pointing fingers. So what productive things can we talk about today?
That's it. So we still don't know if he gave his deposition last week or he didn't, or if he just didn't show up because you got all prepared in April and then it was canceled by maybe the Reed team, maybe not. But according to Aaron Rosenberg's face, he's like, hell no. You know what? I love how Damon Saligson stands up for the Zoom hearings. I love that so much. Do you think he has like a treadmill under his desk or something? I love it. And this poor guy from the Property Brothers, he's like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? He's just dressing the room. This guy, Lincoln Rose, he's dressing the room at this point. He's like, they need one super good looking guy on the stream and they picked him. I don't even know what firm he works for, but listen, sir, if you want to dress the room, we're going to allow it. Woman in lower left looks like Helen Hunt. Somebody said that, and I totally agree. I totally agree. This is a joke. We're all in on the same joke. It is still here. Why Mark Diller is simping for the Alberts and the McCabes and Brian Higgins, I have no idea. And I still don't know whether that deposition took place or not. But it seems from Aaron Rosenberg's facial expressions that no, it didn't. But again, Mark Diller said that it did. Didn't he say the deposition of Colin Albert was conducted last week? I'm crazy, right? And Lincoln Rose hasn't even slept in a week, says Sherilyn. You can't do an ex parte deposition of someone that was subpoenaed or noticed by the defense. I mean, that would be wild if they did that. Rose is like, damn, I'm in the wrong Zoom room again. He should have been like the rest of us and shut off his camera. How many of you, if you were in the Zoom today, put a 1 in the chat if you were actually watched the Zoom, because I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't get to the setting where I could see like all of the people with their cameras off that were in the room. Maybe they set a setting so that was you, T? That was you who said that? No, they can't take a deposition of Colin without anybody else there. That would be highly improper, at least in my neck of the woods, at least in a New York jurisdiction. That was T who said that. So many of you were there in the Zoom room, right? Could you see who else was in there? Because I couldn't. Why is Helen Hunt there? I don't know. Well, appeals are made for Walken said it did not happen. He said it was canceled, but he said it was conducted last week. He said it was canceled in April. He said the April one was canceled. I don't know. This guy is hella confusing, and maybe it's intentional. Carol Sue Scott said, I love your earrings, Melanie. Thank you. This is, they are made by a local artisan in Cancun. His name is Javier. And every year for the Dave Matthews run, Dave and Tim, he makes special earrings. These were this year's earrings. And I posted them on Instagram because so many of you love them. And so I posted what he had this year on Instagram, and I took orders, and then I shipped you guys the stuff. So you can get them next year when I go to Cancun. if I can do that again, I will. Because you guys really did come to Cancun with me. He said he deposed him. He didn't confirm nor correct himself. Thank you. Custer's crazy horse. I'm not crazy, right? Kelly says, how has Lank stayed clear of anything? Lank has been the family fixer for the Alberts for decades. You know, Kelly, thanks for your 5. Gen X I am says 11 months. Thank you for being here. Check out the Legos story. You're welcome. I've seen some things in passing. Some people have sent me emails about it. Somebody tried to steal somebody's Lego collection. Like, I really don't know. I really don't know. As soon as now that graduation, prom, all these things, pre-prom, after prom, now that all this stuff is kind of in the rear view, maybe I'll have some time to check out some stuff for summer. And I've got it on my radar. So thank you for that, Jen. Goody one shoe. Well done. Goody one shoe. Thanks for your 5. Says I love making dinner, listening to you, Melly. The gift that keeps on giving. Oh, what are you making? Can you come to my house and cook when you're done? 123. Nope, not me. Says I have that image you requested with good and the ice cream truck. Who am I sending this to? OMG. My email is in the show notes. But please make sure that your subject line, I'll have it scroll right now. That your subject line says what it is. And so I'll know right when I go to it. Here it is. Listen, I can't pick up your children and bring them to you in Colombia. You guys are saying, I'm gonna be damn. It says Lego story is off the chart. Oh. Thank you. Nope, not me, for your 5. I appreciate that. And I will show it if you send it to me. Just put like in the subject line, like goody ice cream truck. You're the greatest. Jim, and you paid me $5 to say that, just to give you my email. I mean, you guys are crazy generous. Jamming along says we're going to have a good day and ain't nobody got to cry today. Thank you very much for your 5. Archie says, FYI, Paul Mikowski is also a very respected Medford detective, retired. I have so much respect for him. Good. I'm glad to hear that. He's not going to lie for anybody. Thank you, Archie. Bridget said, Karma is working its magic. You know what I say? Karma knows your address. Karma knows your address. And Jersey girl Trey pointing out the obvious, Juneteenth might be new, but doesn't make it less important than July 4th. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot of these lawyers are like old school, and they only like to give their employees a certain number of days off a year. And so I'm glad that all these lawyers' offices are closed, and I'm glad they don't want to work on Juneteenth. Listen, most lawyers are still using word perfect. It's true. Thank you, Jersey girl, Trey, for chiming in. And Iceman, thank you, says, Mel, one of my favorite things you say is John O'Keefe was not hit by a car and a car didn't hit John O'Keefe. It totally makes my day. Well, I'm glad to make your day. Also, I said that after the first trial, I kept saying this is what needs to be the focus of trial number 2, because the jury should not be back there trying to solve a mystery of who killed John O'Keefe. That's not their job. If John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, that's it. You're done. You're done. You go home. You get to go home. Bridget, gifted 5 memberships. Thank you again, sweet pea. And yeah, Stina says 9 p.m. is past the close of business. My phone is on Do Not Disturb by then. Yeah, that's the problem with email. Everybody thinks they should be able to get a hold of you any 24 hours a day, and you should respond 24 hours a day. Back in the day, in the old school, kids, old school, when I first became a lawyer, there was I don't even know if there was a voicemail at the time. My secretary, secretary, like a bad word to say nowadays, had a message pad that was like carbon copied, and there was these little message slips, and people would call and they would take a message on a message slip, and when you walked into the office, you'd be handed a stack of message slips, and that's how you would call people back. Your kids had to call the office to get a hold of you. You didn't have a cell phone. Those were the good old times, people, when people could only get you from 9 to 5, and after that, it was like, I'll call you tomorrow during business hours. Now it's crazy. That's why everyone is so overworked, so overstimulated, and people have too much access. Thank you, Stina, for reminding me of the good old days. Rusty Bed Springs. I don't know what your profile picture is, but it says Boston Shady, which is funny. Good and Robert's relationship goes back to childhood. Okay, I wasn't crazy. I grew up with Good's wife and Kerry's husband in a neighboring town. Do not out yourself. They will come for you. Thank you for your 10. Goth Boy said, so how is it Rosenberg's fault that the House defendants et al. Keep refusing to be deposed? They're under subpoena. He's following the law as much as possible. Right. And this is also amazing. Barry Adams said, yes, make my day, Judge Gildea. Well done. Pokey pointing out that Diller looks like the I'm not a cat lawyer. Thanks for being here for 15 months. And then we had Robert B. winning the day with On the Good Ship Lollipop. Wedge Antilles says, according to Jen, she confessed. You ask her. Right. Don't you think that would be an important deposition to get done right away? Peaches 303 says, Turtle Boy was right. Much love to Melanie and Aiden. Oh, thanks, Peaches, for your 5. Stand with Mel says, I wonder if Diller is doing discoveries out of order for the other attorneys in the defamation case. I trust no one. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Your profile picture reminds me so much. I'm watching Our Friends and Neighbors right now, or Your Friends and Neighbors. And from far away, you look like the beautiful Amanda Peet. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but thank you for your 5. And again, she says, Turtle Boy says last night, Stand with Mel, that it's weird that Colin Albert is going into the army to defend us, but he's afraid of T-Rex arms. LOL. I mean, would somebody enlist just to get out of doing a deposition? David Reese says Colin will be protected by the Soldiers and Sailors Emergency Relief Act for as long as he's on active duty. Thank you. Thank you, David, for your 5 and for cluing us in. Wedge Antilles says, I'm actually baffled that judges sometimes allow these type of delays to keep happening. For God's sake, Judge, draw a line in the sand. He will eventually. I mean, he's got a drop dead date. I forget what the end of discovery date is in this case, but he put the defamation case on a fast track. So that's the discovery. I think all the depositions, or was it all discovery, in the defamation case of Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Brian Higgins against Karen Reed and Aidan Carney. That deadline is 2/27. It's 2/27. It's February of 2027. So that's on the fast track. Thanks for tuning in from Denmark. I appreciate you. And I Watch Trial says there's still a hearing tomorrow. Yes, there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, there is. 2 things happening tomorrow. Number 1, the arraignment of Nicholas O'Malley, who's being represented by our King David Yannetti. That's in the morning. And then there is a status conference at 10 a.m. There's that motion for the protective order of the McCabe, Higgins, Alberts against Reed and Carney. Also in front of Judge Gildea, the motion for the protective order, because those people want privacy. They want privacy. They still want privacy. They want all of their text messages and communications with the Norfolk DA's office to be under seal, impounded, not gotten. And sometimes we have to just, here, look, they're on the privacy tour. Let me take myself out of here for a second so you can see this from the South Park episode, season 26, episode 2, the privacy tour of Harry and Meghan. Here you go. Does this look a little bit like 34 Fairview? Respect our privacy, respect our privacy. And then they're curtain twitching. Look. Can't make it up. So yes, that hearing is supposed to be, I think, tomorrow. I have it on for 10 a.m. If it's different, I'm sure I'll find out. I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to live stream it because Judge Gildea. But last time, Canton Community TV and some other news outlet was in the corner. And we did get a feed of it, but I don't think it was live. Tortoise Interference says Diller is rolling his eyes at his past self-take in this case. How's he ever going to get paid? Thank you for your 5. Mama She, thank you for your 10. Says, I think Dr. Turtleboy was right. Love you, Mel. Aw. And Cupcake Fam, thanks, Mama She, for your 10. Very generous contributor to the channel. And we are all mad here. I love that. It's an Alice in Wonderland reference. Let's put Alice up in the corner, shall we? It says we're all mad here. Good and Lally, good and Lally. Golly. I don't know what that does, but it's funny. All right. Thank you for your super chat. Let's we have more papers to look at. We have more papers to look at in the federal case. And we're gonna jump over to do that now. We're all mad here. There's Alice. Most Talkative says, now that Colin went to the Army, what about his deposition and his testimony in the Turtle Boy witness intimidation trial? Tell us everything, Mel. I don't know. God, I hope that doesn't have to be kicked until after he's back, or they're going to have to drop the charges against him. If he can't come back to testify against Turtle Boy at his trial, perhaps those charges would have to be dropped. I don't know. Like, we're going to have to wait and see. That is a great question. Thank you, Most Talkative. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's check the innie. Gigi, thank you for shooting me another 20. Says, my name was going to be, I'm not a Nan, I'm a Gigi. You're funny. Well, hang on a second. Do you want to see the video of Colin Albert being sworn in? That's interesting. Aiden Carney. Thank you. Thanks, Zeta, for sending this to me. Says Aiden tweeted, Colin Albert has suddenly decided to join the Army and will be unavailable to give a deposition in the Karen Reed lawsuit. Well, that's like the O'Keefe's versus Karen Reed. Hopefully our country is a little safer now that we are being defended by a person who testified that an award-winning journalist speaking into a window with T-Rex arms made him scared and intimidated. I mean, Hollywood writers' rooms could not script this better. Would you like to see the video? We're going to have to try and do like Where's Waldo to figure out which one is him. All right, here we go. This is from Aiden Carney's tweet. Thank you for your service, Colin. Here we go.
Congratulations to all of you guys. I will do this. I'm going to ask you guys 3 questions. I'll ask you to raise your right hand. We'll do the oath. During the oath, I'll say, do solemnly swear or affirm. Please.
Wait, is this him on the left side in the back row? No, that's not him in the front. Is this him on the left side of the back row? Very back row in the left. His face is peeking between these 2 guys. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Bobby. All right, here we go.
Don't say swear or affirm. Just choose one or the other. If you choose to affirm, just say do affirm. After the oath, we'll step in the office, sign your contracts, and then you guys are going to get your travel brief here in the next 20-30 minutes, so just hang tight till then. Any questions before we start? No, sir. All right.
Yeah, do I if you swear me in, do I have to give a deposition? Do I have to give a deposition? Back left, black shirt. Some of these kids look very scared, but thank you all for your service. Really. I have to applaud each and every one of them for enlisting. Here we go. He's in the left back row in black shirt.
Have you been briefed on, and do you understand the Department of Defense applicant briefing on separation policy and restrictions on personal conduct in the armed forces, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Articles 8586104 Alpha?
Yes, sir.
Does anyone have any questions, reservations, or reluctance to enlisting at this time?
No, sir.
You're here to own free will today.
Yes, sir.
Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly swear.
It'd be really funny if one of them said, I state your full name. Sometimes people do that.
Or affirm.
Do solemnly swear
That I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
Against all enemies.
against all enemies,
Foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith.
that I will bear true faith
And allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same,
And that I will obey the orders.
and that I will obey the orders
Of the President of the United States.
of the President of the United States
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
According to regulations.
according to regulations
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
May the Lord your hands. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you. Kaylee says may God keep you all safe, and tiny Jesus and tiny Mary, may they walk with you always. I wish I could give these boys a little tiny Jesus and tiny Mary to keep in your pockets at all time. That just brings a tear to my eye. Would somebody enlist in the army to get out of doing a deposition? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that people think that. I just don't know. Seems crazy, right? But I mean, nothing would surprise me at this point in this case. But again, do they come from a military family? And here is the picture of the, I don't know, the enlistees, I guess, who are all sworn in. And I do believe this is Colin Albert right here in the black shirt, back row. So I guess it's official. Thank you to Dr. Turtleboy for finding this out. Timing says a lot, says some people. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, so, you know, I'm not going to make those leaps, but I'm going to let you guys tell me what you think. But wait, because that's not all. We've got federal. I was waiting today for the opposition. The opposition was due today in the federal court action, the Karen Reed versus everybody action that Karen Reed originally filed in Bristol County State Court. And then the HOS defendants moved it to federal court. Their answer was due today. Their opposition to the wait a second. Opposition. No, I don't even know what I'm saying. Was it their opposition that was due today? Wait, hang on one second. Some papers were due today because I have it on my calendar. Wait, hold on. The federal opposition was due. House Defendants Federal. That's what I have in my calendar. However, Karen Reed made a motion today to amend her opposition in federal court. Here's what happened. I think maybe it's the reply that's due, because now that I look at my notes, the House defendants made a motion under anti-SLAPP and other things for Karen Reed's case against them to be dismissed. We went over that at length. We went over Karen Reed's opposition to that motion at length. Karen Reed today made a motion to amend her opposition because one of the exhibits to her opposition could not be filed without leave of the court. And I guess they didn't make a motion to have it unsealed, but let's just take a quick look at it because the House defendant's attorney would not agree to an amendment. And we're going to find out why. Thank you, Betsy, for your Venmo. She says, sorry, I've been MIA. I'm back. XOXO. I'm back like Carol Ann from Poltergeist 2. I had her on my thumbnail the other day. They're back. Anon, please. Says, shh, don't say my name. Oh, thank you so much. She says, she or he, I'm not sure, says, first time ever giving to any YouTube creator. Thank you so much for all your reporting and snarking on all cases, but especially Karen Reed. Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Thank you. Very generous. Thank you very much. Megan is here and she's already done it. Megan, girl, you also did that picture of me as the cupcake queen, right? I mean, come on. Here it is for your viewing pleasure. Sean Good in the good humor truck, courtesy of our girl, Megan. See how fast she does that? I don't know. Creative, you creative people, you blow me away. Because I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't sing. I'm creative with my words, I guess. I guess I can riff with you for 4 hours at a time and it's all unscripted and stuff. But artists and people that can whip up things like this, I'm blown away, Megan. Look at this, you guys. Good humor in a good humor truck, handing an ice cream cone to a kid. How you did this, I will never know. We can talk about this later. But a couple of young kids have just upended Hollywood. Okay. There are 2 movies in movie theaters right now that have blown the Star Wars sequel number whatever out of the water. One is by a 20-year-old YouTuber. And I'm going to conflate which one is which. But there are 2 movies out right now. One is called Obsession. One is called Backrooms or The Back Room. Both of these movies, one was made for under $1 million, has blown away the Star Wars remake, sequel, whatever the hell it is, that is out right now. He's a YouTuber. He's 20 years old. The other kid is like 26 years old or 27 years old. He too is a YouTuber, made that movie for $10 million. And both of these movies are blowing Hollywood big productions out of the water. This is a great time for our kids who are getting into filmmaking, for all YouTube creators, for everyone, because Hollywood has always been run by Nepo babies. You had to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to get a movie deal. Not anymore, folks, not anymore. I love it. And if anyone has seen either one of those movies, The Backrooms is by the 20-year-old. Thank you, Gothboy UK. I fell into the rabbit hole on this the other day too. I mean, Megan is so freaking talented. Before we go on to the other papers, and since we're talking about it right now, let's see. Now I got to give you more details because if anyone saw either one of those movies, please let me know. Here it is, Backrooms from 2026. We'll read this later. Let's go to the papers first and then remind me to talk about Backrooms and Obsession. I want to see both of them. I think I'm going to go with Mike because my girls want to see them too. We might go see them both the same day. And they said also, all of a sudden, AMC, first of all, when I checked the stock price yesterday of AMC theaters, it was only like $2.07. Okay. 5 years ago, it was like $179. I'm not going to give you a hot tip or anything, but if you have a little spare cash, you might want to buy some stock in AMC. People are going to the movies and they're buying food. They're buying food and having it delivered to their seats. I got to tell you the truth. We once ordered like a hamburger at the AMC movie theater. It was like the best hamburger I ever had. It has caramelized onions on it and like brie. It's a really good burger. It's crazy. Thanks, Suze, but I don't know if I can talk about Kelsey in this same stream right now because I have so many other things to do and I don't want to do a cold read on that. Okay. So let us look at the papers in federal court that were filed by Karen Reed's team. Oops. The first docket number. Give me a minute. Docket number 78. This is in the federal case. So this is Karen Reed versus everybody. Originally state court removed to federal court by the HOS defendants. They've made a motion to dismiss. Karen Reed has opposed it. We went through both of those very, very, I think they're pretty long filings. And thank you, Megan. This is amazing. I'm sure it'll be all over the internet very soon. You're super creative, and I love that about you. So this here is on the federal, hit the federal docket today. Karen Reed versus everybody. Proctor, Buchanan, Tully, oops, Town of Canton, Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Higgins. This is plaintiff's motion to amend opposition to motion to dismiss pursuant to Federal Rule 12b-6 on special motion to dismiss. Plaintiff Karen Reed hereby moves to amend her opposition to the defendant's special motion to dismiss and motion to dismiss as follows. Number one, at page 14 of her opposition, Ms. Reed includes two factual assertions that cite to the exhibit identified as attachment 4 to the declaration of Damon Seligson. 2, to date, the contents of attachment 4 have not been filed because they concern grand jury testimony. Massachusetts law requires that grand jury minutes be maintained securely to prevent ongoing criminal proceedings from being impeded, obstructed, or interfered with. To publish grand jury testimony, the movant must first seek to unseal the testimony by the court with jurisdiction over the relevant underlying proceeding. Ms. Reed requests leave to file an amended declaration of Damon Seligson that simply omits attachment 4 and a minimally revised opposition in which she instead cites to existing attachment 9 as support for the two statements at issue. The proposed revised opposition and amended declaration of Damon Seligson are attached hereto as exhibits 1 and 2, respectively. Aside from these amendments, both the declaration of Damon Seligson and the opposition will remain unchanged. Prior to filing of this motion, counsel for Ms. Reed requested the assent of counsel for defendants Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Higgins. Defense counsel declined to assent. Okay, that's interesting. Remember, defense attorneys, it's defense attorney, their attorney is Tuxbury. And Judge Denise Casper, who's the federal judge in this case, is not going to be happy that they refuse to agree to allow them to just amend their opposition to refer to something else. It's not even a new attachment. It's an existing attachment. But so that we get a better idea of what we're talking about, let's go to the original motion, page 14. And we got to look for exhibit attachment 4. So let's take this down. Let's put this up. The original was docket number 74. And so let's see where they talk about attachment 4. Here it is right here. Nicole Albert testified before the grand jury that she went to bed as soon as everyone left her house. See exhibit 4 or attachment 4 to Seligson declaration regarding grand jury testimony. Yet Brian Albert testified before the federal grand jury that he and Nicole were awake and having intimate relations at 2:22 a.m. See attachment 4 to Seligson declaration, paragraph 12 regarding grand jury testimony. Well, hold on a second. Okay. Well, it seems attachment 4 is the grand jury testimony of Brian Higgins. Okay. I'll show you that in a second because we like receipts here. And of course we do. Let me see if that's the only time they refer to Attachment 4. It says on page 14. This is page 14. So Brian Higgins was testifying about what time Nicole Albert went to bed. And Brian Albert said that they were having relations. Take this down, put this up. This is in the original opposition. Paragraph 10 of Damon Selig's affirmation says, appended here too, as attachment 4, are portions of the transcript of the grand jury testimony of Brian Higgins, withheld for in-camera review or filing pursuant to order of impoundment. He's saying all we want to do is refer instead to attachment 9, which is attachment 9 are portions of the transcript of the trial testimony of Brian Albert. So if they wanted to use the grand jury testimony of Brian Higgins, what I think they're saying is that they were supposed to make a motion, which apparently they did not do. And so now here's what they want to change it to say. I mean, this should be freely granted by the court. The fact that Tewksbury wouldn't just let him do it is kind of wild. Instead, they want to say Nicole Albert testified before the grand jury that she went to bed as soon as everyone left her house. See attachment 9. Yet, Brian Albert testified before the federal grand jury that he and Nicole were awake and having intimate relations at 2:22 a.m. See attachment 9. Why wouldn't they just agree to let them do that? I don't think the judge is going to be happy about this. But for those of you who don't know the lore behind the ice cream truck, here it is. Jennifer McCabe. Ms. McCabe falsely identified herself as Nicole to interviewing FBI agents and falsely told them that she had not made any phone calls in the brief period after the agents first showed up and then returned for questioning. See Jennifer McCabe trial transcript, attachment 8 to the Seligson Declaration. After threatened with the penalties of lying to agents from another organization, Ms. McCabe admitted to calling her husband, Brian Albert, Peg O'Keefe, and Adam Lally. See attachment 8 to Seligson Declaration. Ms. McCabe omitted during her trial testimony that she went to Sergeant Lake's house on January 30th until the defense presented her phone's location data. Again, these people want to blame Aidan Carney for brainwashing people into thinking that they had something to do with the death and or cover-up of the death of Officer John O'Keefe. And I know that many of you are not dumb enough to be brainwashed and that many of your own opinions are based on the actions of these people themselves, not Aidan Carney. She went to Michael Lank's house. She didn't tell anybody. It was a secret. Why are there so many secrets? If you have nothing to hide, why are there so many secrets? They have her location data. I guess that came from the feds, right? She also testified that she drove straight to Lank's house from the O'Keefe's house, but her path of travel showed she went directly to Lank from her own house after stopping at the Albert's house. Let's not text about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Remember, the U.S. Attorney's Office felt so strongly that the Karen Reed persecution should not continue that they did something unprecedented and turned over 3,000 pages of evidence to Adam Lally and Alan Jackson and David Unetti. In good conscience, I cannot allow this case to go to trial, said Josh Levy, who was the acting U.S. attorney at the time, I think. I forget if that's his exact title. I don't remember. Thinking maybe, just maybe, After all of this discovery dump, the federal TUI documents were dumped on the prosecution, especially in this case, that they would be like, oh, this stuff is pretty damning. And not for Karen Reed. That's where all the Proctor's messages came from. That's where all the group text messages came from between Nicole Albert, Brian Albert, Jennifer McCabe, and Matt McCabe. Tell them the guy never went in the house. Let's not text about it. We'll find out more tomorrow. And if all of that stuff was in writing, imagine what wasn't in writing. I mean, people can use their imaginations, okay, and their context clues and their common sense to come to these conclusions. And I submit to you that that is what like 90% of you did. Oh, look, Glamasu says that 3,074 pages was turned over. The largest TUI disclosure prior to this was 800 pages, almost 4 times the prior largest in history. Zoe coming in always with the deets. Jennifer McCabe went from her house to Lank's house, claimed she was talking to Lank's wife in Kerry's car in the driveway for about an hour. And in that hour, she may have gone in the house to use the bathroom. Sure, Jen. She also denied ever stopping at the Albert's house, but the phone data at trial revealed a 5-minute stop on the way to Sergeant Lank's residence. See Exhibit 8. Remember, didn't you at one time say, well, maybe we just like drove by like slowly? Ms. McCabe falsely told first responders that Ms. Reed said, could I have hit him? See attachment 8. She later testified at trial. Ms. Reed said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. See attachment 10. We've been through this before, but some of you may have missed it. And so it's important to point out all of the things that Damon Seligson is telling us in his opposition to the anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss. He says, in addition, and without any discovery yet in this action, the court should take into consideration that the House defendant have already been caught making misrepresentations and attempting to cover up their conspiracy. And that's being kind. They've been caught making misrepresentations. Okay? Because unlike James Tuxbury, who has to go out and marshal the evidence and the facts to, oppose the anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss that Karen and Aiden are going to be making in the defamation case. He's got to go out and marshal the evidence and the facts. It seems that Damon Seligson and Aaron Rosenberg and Alan Jackson have all of the evidence already before they filed their lawsuit, which is really what you're supposed to do. And here it is, all spelled out for you. Brian Higgins. Mr. Higgins originally told police he went to the Canton Police Department on the morning of January 29th to do administrative work in the middle of a snowstorm. Mr. Higgins then told the grand jury and said he went to the Canton Police Department to move cars around. Yet later at trial, video evidence showed Higgins moving a large parcel from one vehicle to another, disappearing into his office, and then spending a period of time in another unseen area of Canton PD, and then finally exiting Canton PD. Mr. Higgins testified that he didn't speak to anyone after leaving the Albert's house until he was notified of Mr. O'Keefe's death in the morning of January 29th. However, evidence at trial showed that he and Brian Albert communicated by phone at 2:22 a.m. that morning before Mr. O'Keefe's body was found. And then they attached the call logs of Higgins and Albert. And it is clear that Tuxbury does not want Brian Higgins' grand jury testimony to come out. And to his clients, why are they so afraid of Brian Higgins' grand jury testimony? I don't know. But that is the grand jury testimony that's referred to. That is the grand jury testimony that they do not want the public to be able to see. Did Higgins tell the federal grand jury? Was it the federal grand jury or the state grand jury? Now I'm confused. Hold on. It just says grand jury testimony of Brian Higgins. Appended here too at attachment 4 are portions of the transcript of the grand jury testimony of Brian Higgins, withheld for in-camera review or filing pursuant to the order of impoundment. So they never filed it. And now they're saying, we don't think we can. We don't even think we can show it to you, Judge. So instead, we just want to change that to say everything is in Exhibit 9, which is Brian Albert's trial testimony. Nicole and Brian Albert. On January 29th, they told Sergeant Lank that their daughter, Caitlin Albert, was only briefly at the Alberts' house and left around 12:15 a.m. That was in the police report. We've seen it. However, Caitlin was later interviewed by MSP and said she was the last to leave 34 Fairview. I mean, why would you lie about something like that? Why? Trial testimony by all of the House defendants confirmed that Caitlin was the last to leave the Alberts' house at around 2 a.m. Nicole Albert told police she was asleep until Ms. McCabe came into her bedroom just before 7 a.m. on January 29th. However, call logs show a 38-second answered call from Jen to Nicole at 5:07:21 a.m. 38 seconds. And that's in Jennifer McCabe's phone records. And she testified at court. And we watch this again. And I keep talking about this all the time. If you pull up to your sister's house and your sister's not answering the phone, and your friend that you invited there the night before is dead on the front lawn, why the hell wouldn't you run into that house to make sure that your family, your sister's family, was okay? When your brother-in-law works with the fugitive whatever unit and is always out, collecting and trying to apprehend dangerous fugitives, and you have no idea how or why John O'Keefe was murdered or is dead on the front lawn, why you didn't run into your sister's house. And this is why. There was a 38-second answered call from Jennifer to Nicole at 5:07:21 a.m., which was shortly after Karen Reed called Jen McCabe to say, John didn't come home. 38 seconds. I don't know. That's right. Attorney Betterow found the 5:07 call for the second trial. That's right. They didn't use it at the first trial. They were underwater. There was only 3 of them, and they were working around the clock. 38 seconds, okay, at 5:07 a.m. So she already knew that her Nicole and Brian were fine, apparently. And what else did they talk about? I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set a stopwatch. Let's see how much can be said in 38 seconds. Okay, I'm setting the timer for 38 seconds. Here we go. Coco, oh my God. Karen just called me. She said that John never came home. Is John there? Is John at your house? Can you go outside and look on the front lawn and see if John is at your house? Did John ever come into your house last night? I don't know. What's Brian doing? Did Brian talk to Higgy in the middle of the night? Did they? Because you guys, 222, you guys spoke to each other, and then you called me and told me to Google HOS long to dying cold. And so I did. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go help her. Try and find John, but I'm going to go back to 1 Meadows first. Okay. All right, cool. Awesome. Thanks. Bye. Click. That was 38 seconds. A lot can be said at 38 seconds. But if you did call your sister at 5:07, because that really would be the normal thing to do, right? That was just for illustrative purposes. Nothing that I said is true at all. I was just making up a script. That would be the normal thing to do. If Karen called and you remember seeing their car outside your sister's house, you would call your sister and say, is John O'Keefe there? Did he sleep over? Did he come in after I left? Can you look around? Karen says he never came home. That would be a normal thing to do, and it would be totally explainable. But instead, she lied about it. Why? I don't know. Because Turtle Boy brainwashed you into believing that something nefarious happened. That's why. Nicole Albert testified before the grand jury that she went to bed as soon as everyone left her house. Yet, Brian Albert testified before the federal grand jury that he and Nicole were awake and having intimate relations at 2:22 a.m. Thank you, Deanna, for your Venmo. She says, Melanie, you have fire, Queen Cupcake, Queen Cupcake. I've never seen Brian laugh so hard. The Goodmans are here. The Goodmans are here and they're watching. Guys, if it's date night, I hope that at least you're being entertained. Love the Goodmans. I remember also Brian Albert said that the phone was in the bed and they were doing sexy time, and that's how he answered Brian Higgins' call and or called him. And he also slept with his reading glasses in his bed too, and his phone. Like, the whole thing was weird. Weird. And it was complete and total DEFCON 5. Brian Albert testified he didn't make any calls during the night of January 29th, but call logs showed activity between him and Brian Higgins at 2:22 a.m. See? Wait, where are the phone logs? Why don't we go to the phone logs? I mean, we're here, right? We're here. We've been through this before, so we know everything else that's in here. All of the reasons why this case should not be dismissed because all of the suspicious things that happened. Hold on. Exhibit 2. I don't know. For some reason, I don't have the phone records, I don't think. Boo. Boo. Oh, well. Sorry, guys. I tried. But apparently that exhibit did not load through Pacer. Maybe they didn't file it. Maybe it's not publicly accessible. Waves of assaulted Melanie. You ask why? Because it was probably an accident and they freaked out and no one wants to go to prison, so they pinned it on the girl. That's very possible. And I've said that from the beginning. Because remember, the dog had prior bites, okay? In New York, a million years ago when I went to law school and we learned common law, there used to be this thing in dog bite law called the one bite rule. Every dog is entitled to a free bite, right? Like a free bite. Like, you don't know a dog's vicious propensities until they bite someone for the first time. So you can't prove notice against a defendant about a dog bite case if the dog has never bitten anyone before. But the problem with Chloe is that I don't know, she attacked another dog and or 2 women maybe had to go to the emergency room. But was it before John O'Keefe's death or after? I don't recall. But maybe they were afraid that they would get sued. Maybe everyone was drunk and they were acting irrationally. Maybe John O'Keefe went to take a leak in the backyard and he did, because there's a gate over there on the right side of the garage to go into the backyard. We've been over that before. Maybe because, there was enough snow to track a cat. It was just a little slippery around the pool. Like, maybe there was I don't know, it was a little slippery. I think it's like a concrete patio out there. And maybe he slipped and fell and smashed his head on a step out in the backyard. I have no idea. And then maybe at the same time, Brian Albert let Chloe out to pee. And then Chloe was trying to rescue John O'Keefe and saw him fall and tried to pull his arm to bring him into the house to safety, maybe. But what happened after that? And how did he wind up in the front lawn? Again, you're right. Maybe it was initially an accident and then crazy decisions were made because they didn't want to be sued. That's quite possible. I don't know. And I've said that. I don't know what happened, but I know that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car and a car did not hit John O'Keefe. And I know that many of you have many opinions and theories about it because you've done your own research. Because you're not stupid. You're smart. You're smart. Gigi's here. Gigi's back. And she gifted 5 memberships. You're back, Gigi. Gigi, did you see the good ice cream truck, the good humor that Megan made? Hold on. I'm gonna show it to you. I know. How's your shoulder doing, babe? Gigi's recovering from shoulder replacement surgery, like a really complex surgery, and she's been watching from bed for a long time. There it is. Look, Gigi, because she sent me earlier. She said, "I wonder what Goody wants from the ice cream truck." And look at what Megan made, because you guys are so fast. Thanks for gifting 5. Gigi, you're always the greatest. I watch trials. Just says, thanks, Mel, with a $2.27 super chat. Flowerskis has been here for 13 months. Says Lincoln Rose is giving John Krasinski all day. Side note, the plural of Lego is Lego, not Legos. Oh, thank you for teaching me something today. Love you, Mel. So glad you like company for these trials. I do. Otherwise, I'd just be watching them at home alone and I'd be making jokes and nobody would be laughing. It would be so sad. Tortoise Interference says it would take an army to pull off this conspiracy. Well done. I see what you did there. True Spooky Logic became a member. Welcome. Emma Louise is here for 5 months and says, I think Colin's family have forced him to enlist because he will break when doing his deposition and admit the truth. It will land them all in the crapper. Very interesting. Sue says, it is a recruiting violation. If Colin did not disclose to his recruiter, trouble. Thanks for your 5. Mama She says, Mel, my girls saw the Backrooms last weekend, and tomorrow they're seeing The Last Digital Circus, which is another one of these YouTubers' films. I love it. I love it. Thank you for your time. It's a great time for young filmmakers right now. Everyone thought Hollywood was dead. Not so much. It's just being upended by a whole new young group of content creators. Like I hate that. I hate content creators. I hate that terminology. Guess why? Just like a whole new group of creators, of artists who are just making their own work. That's what they said to everyone who was like in acting classes, during the pandemic. Get out there and make your own work. Go make your own work. Create your own content, because you don't need to sit around and wait for the phone to ring. Hollywood was on strike. Well, first the panty shut everything down and productions had to shut down. And then there was a SAG strike. And then there was a writer's strike. Make your own work. Publish it. Do the things. Make the stuff. And people did. Buy the tickets. What do I tell you? Buy the tickets. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Says D'Artagnan O'Hara. Thanks for being here for 5 months. Quinley says you're the best. Classy and such a kind person with a heart of gold. Thank you for being you. Oh, thank you for being here for 7 months, Quinley. I love you so much. Sounds of Serenity. Serenity now. Thanks for becoming a member. Think you're going to like it here. Mask Born, thanks for your 10. I'm the mother of a young man in the U.S. Air Force off at war. Colin Albert running just insults my son fighting at war for Colin's ability to lie. Angry mom here. McAlbert Mafia strikes again. Thank your son for his service. And God bless him. And may tiny Jesus look over him. Everyone say a prayer for Massborn's son. Thank you so much for your super chat. Here's tiny Jesus. You and me, Cassidy says, way too many secrets to be believed. You're right. Silly Shelly Goosey's been here for 2 months. Thanks for coming in to join us live tonight. Craft Tassica says, what is to stop all of the HOS defendants sticking to the same story, script, lies during depositions? Thanks, Melanie. What is to stop them? What do you mean? Is that rhetorical? I mean, it's going to be hard because they've given so much testimony. But I'm sure it's very well rehearsed and very scripted, and there's timelines and everything. So it just blows me away that Mark Diller isn't fighting to get Jennifer McCabe's deposition. That should be like his number one. If he's not going to depose Karen Reed first, get Jennifer McCabe to lock it down that John was hit by a car, right? That she confessed and all that crap. Love to you as well. All right, here's something else I wanted to show you. Where is it? You want to watch some video of Spencer Pratt, or do you want to talk about the story of Backrooms? It's your show tonight. What do you want to do first? Can they impeach them from the Karen Reed season 1 and 2 trials? Yes, but I would impeach them. I would not impeach them during their deposition. I would wait to impeach them at the trial, because you want them to lock in their testimony under oath during their deposition. And then if they testify differently at their deposition than they did at one of the trials or in front of one of the grand juries, then they can use that at trial to say, at the trial in this case, or one of these cases, one of these million cases, to say, do you remember giving a deposition on such and such a day, after they say something that's different from what they said in the deposition or the trial, and do it that way? I wouldn't impeach them at the deposition. I would save it. I would save it, because unlike criminal court, you don't have to give up your smoking guns to the other side at trial. At least I don't think so in Massachusetts. That's a wild rule that I had never heard before. We don't do that in New York. We don't have to give the prosecutor, if you're a defense attorney, you don't have to give your prosecutor your smoking guns so that they can prep the witnesses on their smoking guns the way they did with Jennifer McCabe going to Lank's house and other things, right? Steve says, nice lid. I already shouted out the Golden Knights. Look, I'm like all matchy. Game 1 in the bag. What a great game that was last night. Steve, did you watch it? I mean, that's a very high scoring game. US Lily says, even Melanie's roast are classy. Love you. Oh, thanks for being up in 9 months. I love you back. People are like, I would say just dig out that pool. That pool that was filled in was not the pool at 34 Fairview. It was a brother's pool. It was one of the other Albert brothers. I think it was Tim Albert's pool that was filled in. A lot of people have the misconception and they think it was the 34 Fairview pool. It was not. I think it was Tim's, right? You guys know better than I do. Waves of Salt says, I think it's pretty standard to get bit by a dog when you enter being in a dog fight. I personally don't think that's fair to blame the dog. You should never get in the middle. You pull the back leg. Well, if you haven't seen the interview that I did with Garrett Wing on my show all the way back in like January 2024, go back and look for it. It was a lot of really good information about canines. Venus Blue says, Backrooms, I read what Pratt did to his own father, and I just can't with him anymore. He also bullied someone so much that, well, I don't know about any of that kind of stuff. So I will go to Backrooms. All right, let's go here for the first. Does anybody know like the lore of Backrooms, that there was an anonymous user on 4chan who posted a grainy photo? I'm going to tell you the story because I didn't know this either. All right, so let's check this out. This is one of the movies that is taking the taking Hollywood by storm. All right, here we go. On the weekend box office. All right. Backrooms 2026, one of the internet's greatest success stories. In May of 2019, an anonymous user on 4chan posted a grainy photo of an empty room. Sickly yellow walls, harsh fluorescent lighting, damp carpet, and an overwhelming sense that something was deeply wrong. Someone added a caption claiming that if you're not careful, you can, quote, no clip out of reality and end up trapped in an endless maze of identical rooms known as the Backrooms. Nobody knew where the photo was taken. For 5 years, the image spread across forums, Reddit, YouTube, and social media, evolving from a creepy image into one of the internet's most fascinating pieces of modern folklore. Then in May 2024, 4 users on Discord finally traced the image using the Wayback Machine. The photograph originated from a 2002 renovation photo taken inside a former furniture store at 807 Oregon Street in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. But by then, the truth hardly mattered. The myth had already become bigger than its origin. The Backrooms entered a completely new phase in January of 2022 when a 16-year-old filmmaker named Kane Parsons uploaded a 9-minute short film called The Backrooms, found footage. Having taught himself Blender and VFX techniques, Parsons transformed a niche internet creepypasta. I don't know what a creepypasta is. If anybody knows, tell me. Into something cinematic and terrifyingly believable. The video exploded in popularity and quickly became one of the defining horror projects of YouTube's generation. Hollywood took notice. Just a few years later, A24 greenlit a feature film adaptation and handed the project to Parsons himself, who at that time was 20. Operating under the codename Effigy, the production built a massive 30,000 square foot Backrooms maze in Vancouver. The crew reportedly tested dozens of shades of yellow to recreate the unsettling atmosphere that made the original image so iconic, while the scale of the set became a story in itself. Has anybody seen this movie yet? Please tell me. Born in 2005, the same year YouTube launched Kane Parsons, the same year YouTube launched. Oh, so he was born in 2005, which was the same year YouTube launched. Kane Parsons became creepypasta is what we call a scary story based on an urban myth. Great. I love it. He became A24's youngest director ever at like the Blair Witch Project. Right. At only 20 years old, he achieved something almost unimaginable, turning an internet urban legend into a major theatrical event. The story of Backrooms is remarkable, not because of where it started, but because of what it became. An anonymous image posted on a forum evolved into a collaborative online myth, inspired millions of viewers, launched the career of a young filmmaker, and eventually became a global horror phenomenon. Few pieces of internet culture have made the journey from obscure message board posts to mainstream cinema. The Backrooms did, all because of a single photograph and a simple idea that tapped into a universal fear, the feeling of being lost in a place that looks familiar yet somehow feels completely wrong. And here are the like 2019 4chan. There's The Room, 2022 YouTube, 2026 A24. I mean, it's wild. I love this so much because it's like it's opening Hollywood success up to everybody, anybody who can make a film. And it's so exciting. And it has made, I forgot how much money already, but a lot of money. And I love it. Oh, and have you seen, I mean, you guys sent me this too. Mafia masshole, not so confidential informant Kate Peter is going after Nick Rakita. Oh, good luck with that. Holy crap. Good luck with that. That's the fight nobody knew they needed right now. I mean, you want to poke Nick Rakita? Go for it, girl. Go for it. I don't know if you're going to walk out alive, but we'll see. I mean, you know, proverbially alive is what I mean. Wow. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. We got a big day tomorrow. We got a big day. We got a really big day. Thank you, Ms. Jules from Florida, for gifting 5 memberships. You're amazing. So amazing. Hold on. So if you've seen it, leave a comment for me below so I can, because I want to go see it maybe tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. It was Tim, says Rambo John. About the pool. How do I find Rakita's channel? I used to watch Rakita during like Rittenhouse and the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. He used to have like 10 law tubers on at once, and they were all talking about the case. It was wild. People say that he's like the father of LawTube. Then he had some, you know, some very public issues. It's none of my business to talk about. Rakita Law, maybe Rekeita. I don't know. I really don't know. Rekieta Law. Delta thinks that the McAlberts are so scared their baby boy will go to jail, they ship him off to the army instead. Jen P says, my son was born in 05. He played and watched all the creepy stuff, 5 Nights at Freddy's, Slender Man, all the stuffs. Yeah, but these are the, you know, they got to fill these seats, right, in the movie theater. And this is the generation that loves to go to the movies. One of my daughters knows Nicole Kidman's entire speech at AMC. She knows the whole entire thing. And she's really mad now that they cut it down to only like a 10-second clip because she knows the whole thing. And she repeats it every single time. And I love to go to the movies with my kids. I love it. AMC theaters are great now. They have reclining seats. They're heated. You reserve your seat in advance. There's nothing like seeing a really good movie on a big screen with the sound. And then I love it. I love it. So I go to the movies a lot. People are like, people still go to the movies. I think streaming, listen, all right, I'm going to say it. Hulu has the worst technology. I mean, you call yourselves a streaming technology company? It's like playing Atari Pong from 1980. You ever try to watch anything on Hulu? Sheesh. AMC theaters are amazing. I'm telling you, the stock is right now, it's like $2.07. It was yesterday. So that is one of the movies that's out that was made by a young kid. And the other one is called Obsession. And that looks wild too. It's another horror film. Listen, these kids are the ones who are getting in their seats. Yeah, well, right? A little little girl wants to go see Backroom. Yes, Jessica said, I love going to cinema. I watched the Eras tour in the cinema because I could get tickets. Yeah, that was amazing. I have no idea. Well, because I was yelling at Hulu a minute ago. It's the worst. It's really the worst, right? Atari Pong from the 80s. Anyone? Anyone? Right. An ad every 3 minutes. It's crazy. The Testaments. Yes. That's why I have it, Scarlett Hall Revolver. Did anybody watch The Testaments? Amazing. Amazing. Please go watch it. All the episodes are out. It is the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. It's about Hannah and the other girls that are in Aunt Lydia's school to turn them into wives. And it is so good. And it just got picked up for season 2. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Hold on. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. Well, here it is. Wait. All right. Let's see. This is CNN Business. Okay. So this is an article from CNN Business. Here, I'll show you. That's what I'm talking about Hollywood being upended. YouTubers are setting box office records. It could change the future of movie making. Here's a screenshot from Backrooms. The biggest two movies in America right now, Backrooms and Obsession, come from 20-something filmmakers who honed their craft on YouTube. Their films were made with relatively low budgets and were marketed online. Now that they're filling theaters with teens and young adults who rarely show up at the movies, all of Hollywood is paying attention, with experts predicting that studios will copy this movie-making model many times over. It does remind me kind of the Blair Witch Project, which I wasn't really that big of a fan of. If you have a drive-in theater, Ali says, please go. There are only about 300 left in the U.S. Oh, where are my Long Island friends? You remember the Westbury the Westbury drive-in? That was so much fun. Like in high school and college, we used to go to the Westbury drive-in. We would bring lawn chairs, and everybody would take their lawn chairs out and sit outside their cars. Oh, why am I getting a commercial on this? Stop. Obsession, directed by 26-year-old Curry Barker, opened in theaters May 15th. Filmed for roughly $750,000. The darkly funny horror film has made almost $150 million to date. A jaw-dropping return on investment for Focus Features and Blumhouse Productions. I love everything Blumhouse. I'm a horror fan. I love horror movies. I love Blumhouse. I love Jason Blum. I love anything Mike Flanagan makes. Did you guys watch Midnight Mass or any of the Hill House TV shows? They're all amazing. Then came Backrooms, directed by 20-year-old Kane Parsons, who developed the project for years on his YouTube channel. Parsons had a bigger budget, about $10 million, and famous actors like people's names who I can't pronounce, and Mark Duplass, who I love, who was also in one season, the best season, I think, the best season of Goliath. You guys know I love Goliath. That's how I discovered Billy Bob Thornton was good. And Mark Duplass was in that really freaky Goliath season, right? If you haven't watched Midnight Mass, I don't even know where you can find it now, but that freaked me out, that show. And it was so good. The acting was amazing. I haven't watched Widow's Bay. I tried. I'm like one episode in. It's not really getting me. It's a comedy horror about an island off of Maine. Yeah, I started watching it. I don't know. I don't know what it was about, like the first episode or the first 2 episodes. I may go back to it. I love Mark Duplass. But it was still astonishing to see Backrooms dominate the box office so thoroughly in its opening weekend. It took the #1 spot at the weekend box office, raking in about $80 million in North America and $120 million worldwide, with ticket sales fueled by Gen Z. It blew. Obsession was #2 for the weekend, pushing Star Wars: The Mandalorian which opened a week earlier, to number 3. I mean, and that cost something like 180 million to make. It's great. So what does this hot streak mean? Well, it means young people are actually willing to buy movie theater tickets if they know and relate to the YouTube era talent. Woohoo! And it means Hollywood studios are going to chase the success of Obsession and Backrooms by scouring online video sites for the next great auteur. It might even mean that some studio bosses will place a few more bets on original concepts rather than predictable franchises and sequels. Duplass, who plays a scientist in Backrooms, said in a social media video that the 2 films were giving the movie business a glimmer of hope. I love it. I love it. Producers and agents have been building a YouTube to Hollywood pipeline for a while now. All right. Get her done. Get her done. Call me. I loved Goliath too. All right, my friends. Big day tomorrow. If we can get the arraignment on Nicholas O'Malley, the police officer who's being represented by King David Yannetti, we will do that. Oh, he also, our King David, posted some new videos, I guess from his website. They made a couple of videos promoting their law firm, which I thought were really great, except I can't really play them because they have music attached. Go look for those. Go look for them. And if we can get that, I think it's at 9 a.m. Nicholas O'Malley. And then there's a conference tomorrow. The HOS defendants motion for protective order to keep everything private. They want everything private. All the things. They want to keep everything private, even though they're filing a very public lawsuit against Aidan Carney and Karen Reed for defamation. But they still want all of their stuff to be private because this is the privacy tour. Just like the South Park episode that I told you about. Has anybody seen that South Park episode? Or do you all think that you have no idea what I'm talking about? Ashton Sugar says, creepypastas are short, user-generated horror stories and urban legends copied and pasted across the internet. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to date myself now, but like a chain letter, like those spooky chain letters that we used to get, like handwritten. And it was like, if you don't pass this on, the spirit of so-and-so demon is going to come for you. 9 a.m. Thank you, law girls. Do you guys remember the old chain letters? Like your whole family's gonna die if you don't send this letter to 10 people. So I'm assuming that's what like a creepypasta is. But maybe I'm just making a bad analogy. I don't know. Chain letters. Look it up. You can find it on, where did I find it? Paramount. Is it Paramount Plus? It's the Meghan and Harry privacy tour. They go on. All they want is their privacy. I guess South Park has to say that they're from Canada. And so they want their privacy and they go on a privacy tour and they have these signs that are like, we just want our privacy. And all they do is get in people's faces. Very funny and very apropos. And I had like a whole bunch of photos pulled up on it. Where did I put them? It was very funny. I showed them earlier. Scroll back and watch them if you like. All right. So I don't have anything set up yet for tomorrow. So just remember that we're going to cover it if we can. O'Malley and also the motion for protective order. Sarah Jane said, I saw that South Park episode and I laughed my butt off the whole time. The worldwide privacy tour. Yep. All right. Now that you're talking about it, I'm going to have to bring those pictures up again. Don't worry. It's not a hassle at all. Because it's really funny. And I like took a picture with my phone of the television because I wanted, that's how badly I wanted you all to see this. There you go. Got him back. I got him back. Okay. This is the worldwide privacy tour from South Park. So appropriate. Okay, so this is when Harry and Meghan are saying, all this attention is so hard. And then they go on, of course, Morning Canada show. And they would say, we just want to go where we can be normal people. I got to take this down. If I play a clip, they'll strike me. Come on, wife, we want privacy. And then she's got the sign that says, stop looking at us. And then they have two signs. One says, we want our privacy. And the other one says, stop looking at us. And they're out again, getting on their private plane. Stop looking at us. We want our privacy. And they call it the Worldwide Privacy Tour, which is, a take on Magical Mystery Tour. And then they move across the street from Kyle. And they say, leave us alone, respect our privacy. And look at them curtain twitching. Just like the McCabe's looking out the window for Karen Reed's Lexus. How funny is that? Respect our privacy. Leave us alone. Respect our privacy. Thank you, Tiff. I'm not going to be able to do it tonight, but hopefully tomorrow. All right? Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy, stay safe. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Thank you all so very much for spending so many hours of your day with me today. It's been almost 3 hours, and wasn't it fun? Hype this video if you can when it's over, because everybody needs to know about this. Everyone needs to know about it. I'm going to find myself talking in South Park talk. And Mr. Goodman, not to be outdone by his wife, said, we're on date night. I don't know if I'm supposed to read this. Thank you, Brian, for outdoing your wife, as always. Oh, they watch me from different locations because it brings them together. They're so cute. Hashtag couple goals for Brian and Deanna, the Goodmans. Brian did out to you, D. Just saying. They have like a competition of who can donate more to the Melanie Little College Fund. Thank you, friend of dog, for gifting 10 memberships. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Hope loves chickens, loves Southport. That's really generous of you. Thank you very much. And to those 10 who were gifted, welcome. And there's still already over 5,000 of you here. I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about? I'm getting hungry, but I can DoorDash. Ain't no big thing. You can hide, but it has to be after the stream is over. And PK says, you made making 4 pounds of sloppy joes and chili for chili cheese dogs go so fast. I mean, yeah, you want to talk about Pratt? Yeah, let's look at some footage of Pratt after listen, he loves LA. He wants to live there with his family. His house burned down in the Palisades fire. He's mad as hell. And can you blame him? And do you think that he's going to get the angry mom vote? Let's see what happened. Because I don't even think their poll results are going to be up for God knows how long. I don't even know. Sometimes in LA, they got to stuff the box. You never know what's going to happen there, I guess. Maybe, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. This is 10 hours ago. What is most recent here? Let's say news. Most recent news on this. Tools. Recent. Past hour. Do they have an account yet? Update. In mayoral race shows moves for Karen Bass, Spencer Pratt, and Nithya Raman. Okay, so that was 9 minutes ago. The 3 leading candidates in LA's mayoral race showed little movement in the latest ballot count on Wednesday afternoon, solidifying Mayor Karen. Remember, it's 3 hours earlier in LA, so it's like only 5 p.m. Solidifying Mayor Karen Bass's place in November's runoff election while leaving the contest for second place largely unchanged. They do not want Spencer Pratt running. So Bass has 34.78 of the vote. I'm sorry, 34.97% of the vote. Pratt has 29.91% of the vote, and Raman is at 22.81% of the vote, according to the Associated Press. And I did see something on YouTube before that. Billy Bush went on somebody's channel to talk about it. So let's see if we can find that. Oh, please. Let's see. Maybe it's a mystery. Oh yeah, it was KATO KAELIN. KATO KAELIN was weighing in. Really? Okay, well, hold on. ABC 7 and this is from last night when he got swarmed by supporters outside wherever he was on election night last night. Let's take a look at this.
Spencer Pratt appears all but poised to face off with Mayor Karen Bass in the November general election in LA.
Eyewitness News reporter Kevin Ozebek continuing our team coverage from West LA with more on what Pratt had to say as he addressed the media. Kevin?
West LA fadeaway.
Well, Mark and Michelle, Spencer Pratt is a very unconventional candidate who's run a very unconventional campaign and had a very unconventional night tonight. Unlike the other candidates, his campaign watch party was very small and very private. But just a few moments ago, he stepped outside from his party and was just absolutely swarmed by both reporters as well as some of his supporters who were outside on the sidewalk hoping to get a glimpse of them. In fact, at one point, we even saw one of those supporters try to squeeze and get right up next to Spencer Pratt. Spencer Pratt's security guards then had to push him off. That man is now incredibly upset and going up and down the sidewalk, just kind of yelling his grievances. Just a few minutes ago, we did see Spencer Pratt leave the party. He's feeling very upbeat as he looks at these initial numbers. And several times when we did have a chance to speak to him, once he kind of left his party, he spoke about his faith several times. Take a listen.
I was going to accept whatever God's plan was tonight. I was going to be happy if I wasn't moving forward because I would have known that
God's plan. Blessed Mom from Texas says, I love you. You're a queen. I learned so much from you. I pray to be the mother you are. Love to all my cupcakes. Oh, thank you for your 20. I appreciate you so much.
God didn't want me to be the mayor. But now I feel very confident that I'm going to continue to work hard, learn everything I need to learn, build my teams, show all the experience I'm going to surround myself with, because that's a concern people have. Oh, he has no experience.
How does he make you want to
I'm going to build that experience around, and we have 5 months to put the best team the city could ever dream of around me. So, and I got in this because as a citizen, I felt like my city failed myself, my neighbors, my family. And when I got on this mission now, I look around and the city's failing most of Los Angeles. And now I'm in all these communities and I'm hearing everyone's issues and problems.
And Spencer Pratt told us he will debate Karen Bass again. In fact, he said, bring it on. He says he would like to debate her every single Friday for the next few months leading up to the main election in November. So we will see if these numbers hold and if, in fact, it will be a face-off between Mayor Bass and Spencer Pratt. Live tonight in Sawtell, Kevin Ozebek, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Kevin Ozebek on the sidewalk, handling your business. Thank you, sir.
I mean, who is he? Spencer Pratt was in a reality show like 20 years ago called, I don't know, The Hills. He's running for mayor of LA because his house burned down in the Palisades fire, and he blames Karen Bass, the current mayor of LA, because the reservoir had no water in it, and his dad's house burned down, and his house burned down, and now he's running. Now he's running for mayor of Los Angeles, and it looks like he's going to be running against Karen Bass. It looks like he's going to get, this was the primary, right? So now, but the final count is not in. The final count is not in. So we don't know. Wendy says, Pratt is awesome. We need more people like him entering politics instead of the lifers that never get anything done. He's mad. He's mad as hell. Getting close to mad. Melanie After Dark. Oh, I saw that you suggested that, Mitchell. Melanie After Dark should be called Mad. I mean, I just think he's really mad and he really loves LA. And we've talked about this before on other shows. LA is not in great shape right now. Downtown LA is dangerous, in my opinion. Let's look at Jesse Weber, who actually had KATO KAELIN come on to talk about it. Listen.
Our special election coverage continues, including in California. And I want to turn now to a familiar face.
Who cares what KATO KAELIN has to say? He's the guy that lived in OJ's guest house. What? Why are we giving this guy any FaceTime on Jesse Weber's show? I have no idea. Listen.
Who's called Southern California home for decades. KATO KAELIN became a household name in 1995 when he testified as a key witness in the O.J. Simpson murder trial. And at the time, KAELIN was living as a house guest on Simpson's property in the Brentwood.
Who hasn't been relevant since 1995. Oh my God. Come to your screen if you can. Look at his picture. You remember him? The hair, the highlights, the free guest house. Crazy, right?
neighborhood of Los Angeles. It was a detail that put him at the center of one of the most watched trials in American history. But long before that trial, he was building a life in Los Angeles. He's watched this city grow and change over the years. And tonight, as voters decide who are going to lead the nation's second largest city, KATO KAELIN says it should be Spencer Pratt, arguing LA needs a change. Now, while he can't actually cast a ballot in this race, as he lives just outside the Los Angeles city limits, his perspective is important because it represents what many may be feeling. KATO KAELIN, host of the true crime series Murder in a Minute, joins me live. Now, good to see you, sir. Thanks for taking the time. Big picture here.
Look at him now. Wow. KATO KAELIN coming back to, I don't know, is he relevant? 30 years later? Wow.
Why do you think people are showing up to the races? Why do these races matter? And when I say races, yes, the LA race, but also the governor's race.
Well, Jesse, I think it's because we're sick of it. We're sick of it, of how life is. And it's really not about Democrat, Republican. It's not red or blue. It's, don't you want it to be a better place to live? I mean, who doesn't want to have a better place to live? And it's just, what do you have to lose? It's really simple. What do you have to lose? Nothing's happened in 4 years. Karen Bass has been awful. And Newsom has been awful. And it's just time for a change. I really think, I don't know Spencer Pratt, but I really think he's hit a nerve and he knows what the...
Wait a second. You don't know Spencer Pratt? And Jesse Weber has no one else in his Rolodex to call other than KATO KAELIN? Call Billy Bush, for Christ's sake. What are you doing? He doesn't even know him.
Ads that he's running, he's hitting it where people are going, yeah, give this guy a chance. And he's a smart guy. I think he's going to surround himself with smarter people. And I think that's going to make a huge difference. And I think the people that Bass surrounds herself with are not smart. I don't think she's smart. She goes to Guyana to a field trip, basically, when she knows there's low on water, there's windstorms, and a city burns down. Destruction everywhere. It's awful. We have to seriously, Jesse, make it the Golden State.
All right, Scarlett. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on this. She says, people all over the state have dealt with fires for their entire lifetimes. The only difference is that it got to his house once. I'm going to assume that you live in California, okay? Because the entire Palisades burned down because the reservoir was empty, okay? There was like no response to this fire. I covered the Palisades fire with you guys live when it was happening at least twice. The other big thing that happened right before these fires was that many insurance carriers dropped everyone who lived there. They had no coverage. They had to go through this BS coverage through the state. Don't get me started on this because I'm still mad about this too. And so I love it when somebody who is an underdog decides to run because they're so outraged about the way it was handled and because they're so outraged about needles being given out and about the sidewalks being able to be taken over by homeless people to the point where their children and the moms have to step over needles to get to the supermarket. Like, it's insane. They didn't clear the brush properly. Both reservoirs were empty. Like, there's a lot of issues here. And he's running because he loves LA. Trust me, it's not for the money. And he was very outspoken during the fires and afterwards.
It's not golden anymore. It's brown.
So they had no insurance. That's right. Not that he didn't buy insurance. You couldn't get it. Here on Long Island, we have a very difficult time getting homeowners insurance. And Hurricane Sandy was like almost 15 years ago. And it only affected part of Long Island. It's impossible.
And filthy on the streets. People out here are on, walking on pins and needles, and I'm literally walking on pins and needles. Watch your step. She's passing out hypodermic needles. I mean, who wants to live that kind of life? You got to have someone who's going to clean it up. And I think that's his number one mission, to make LA livable. And right there, I've got it. And you called him villain. I can relate to that only because I was just a witness in a trial.
Yeah, because you can relate to a villain. He was just a witness in. Maybe you should hook up with the HOS defendants, KATO KAELIN. They know what it's like. You were made into a villain, and you were just a witness at the trial. Wow, that sounds like an advertisement for them. Listen,
LA livable. And right there, I've got it. And you called him villain. I can relate to that only because I was just a witness in a trial.
Yeah, because you
that
said,
was the first reality show.
and it goes back to what Donna said earlier, right? I mean, this idea of how he's being portrayed. One of the reasons I understand you support him is because you know what it's like to be judged by the public. And she said earlier, his whole image has changed now.
100%.
This was from last night when Bass was at 36.5%. Pratt was at 30.1%. Rahman was at 20.2%. Also, we had watched some coverage of Spencer Pratt where he said that if he won more than 50% of the vote, he would automatically win, but that clearly didn't happen here. Oh, hey, it's Allie says, I'm an insurance adjuster and I worked many claims for those houses. They burned down. And as an empath, I'm still recovering from the stories and the horrific photos. Thanks, Allie.
I'm happy that I can afford my own couch now. So I'll tell you, Jesse, people pick on you, but I believe, just like I am, I think Spencer has always believed in himself. And I think that is the power. And people see that. I think they see that he is a winner. Robert Redford did a movie called The Candidate. I liken him to that sort of thing, that he's this got a fish out of water, but now he's made a point, and people have he's motivated people to want to go out and vote. And I really believe that he is going to be the mayor of Los Angeles.
His parents lost their house in the Palisades also. The people across the street from his parents' house burned in the fire to death. His parents also, I think, have a house in Santa Barbara where now Heidi is with the kids because their school is gone. I don't know.
What you say, and I had Bill de Blasio on earlier, and I did my hot take on this, my digital show. Experience matters. And when you're dealing with LA, which is very complicated, it's very complex. I mean, even if you're talking about preparedness for an emergency situation and trying to properly coordinate that, Karen Bass had her own difficulties. Bringing in an outsider who doesn't know the way it works, is that the way to go?
Well, I think it's the people he's going to have to meet. I believe I supported Rick Caruso, and I think if I'm hearing rumor that maybe Caruso is going to be in his camp, I think it's having those kind of experience.
Who cares who KATO supports? This is what my disconnect here is why KATO was even invited to give his opinion. Like, was the Rolodex empty? Jaded Masshole, thanks for your 10, says effing reservoirs are still empty. Voting Bass is literally insane. Oh yeah, free teeth, right? Free teeth for the super meth addicts. She wants to give them free teeth.
People that'll make a difference. And I think Spencer Pratt's doing all the right things. I think his ads are showing that he's going to, what he believes in his ads. And I think that's the main motivation. Like I said, he's hit this nerve. And I just really believe we need to make it the Golden State. And the same thing for Steve Hilton. We got to, what do you have to lose, right, Jess? What do you have to lose, people? It's not Democrat, Republican. It's about becoming a better state.
These numbers that we're seeing are why.
I don't really care about him, but there was another. Here's another one. Cliffhangers in high stakes California primary elections. Let's go to this one.
Tonight, with votes still being counted in the highly watched race for LA mayor, former reality TV star Spencer Pratt predicting he'll advance to November's election.
The God wanted 5 more months of me exposing all the failures of our mayor. So it's going to be a fun ride. I hope she's ready.
Pratt currently in second place, while NBC News projecting incumbent Democratic Mayor Karen Bass has already advanced.
I don't care where you're from, when you got here, or why you're here. You are an Angelino, and we are going to fight for you.
Celebrating with this post on social media, although it's the first time in 20 years.
She's trying so hard to be hip. I don't know. I really don't know much about her at all, but I do know that she wants to give homeless people free teeth. Like, give me a break, okay? There's a lot more going on in your backyard than that, ma'am.
Years, a sitting LA mayor could not get a majority of the vote and was forced into a runoff.
We can do debates every Friday if she would like, because this actually became my most favorite thing to do.
It's the latest twist for Pratt, a Republican who decided to run after losing his home in the Palisades fire last year and tapped into voter anger over crime and homelessness. And there's a surprising surge for a Republican in California's governor race, too. Conservative commentator Steve Hilton currently leading the pack.
When people say, how are you going to win in California as a Republican? My question is, how will a Democrat win based on the record that they are putting before the people?
But in this heavily blue state, he's in for an uphill battle. His likely opponent, Democrat Javier Becerra. If he wins, the former Biden cabinet member would be the first Latino to run the state in more than 150 years.
This is your state. Este es tu estado.
November, here we come.
Oh, well, it looks like.
And Tom, we're inside the LA County Ballot Processing Center right now. You can still see
where all the ballot boxes are being stuffed and things are being brought in through the back door. Check this out. Billy Bush went to his election party last night. Let's look at this.
Sir Pratt's party last night. I had a beautiful hug and chat with Heidi, who looks stunning. She may be the next first lady of Los Angeles. I think it's going to happen. I met the Saca la Basura guy, the guy that made the AI video of Spencer Pratt pushing a trash can through the streets, an animated video. Saca la Basura, take out the trash. I chatted with Spencer's mom, the adorable Janet Pratt.
Can you imagine that we would ever be in a place like this? That he would be running for mayor of Los Angeles?
Never.
Impossible.
Never. No, he's such a family man, but he's perfect for this job.
Mama Pratt is happy tonight.
Oh, I looked at Poly Market, by the way, the Poly Market predictions. They've got at about 68% the last time I checked of a Spencer Pratt versus Karen Bass showdown in November. There are those, I hate this, don't you? The ballots that get mailed in for like days, after, almost a week after, we got to count those. And those probably don't go his way. But the gap between Spencer Pratt and Nithya Raman is significant enough that it shouldn't make any difference. And in all likelihood, he will make it. And it's going to be a Pratt summer, as they say in Los Angeles, as he goes against Karen Bass. I went to Spencer Pratt's party last night. I had a beautiful hug and chat with Heidi.
I thought I had another video
stunning.
That he did.
She may be the next.
Or maybe someone else did. He went on someone's show. Did he go on someone's show? Or is he going on someone's show tonight? I don't know. All right. I'm going to go eat dinner. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, probably twice. So make sure you have all your notifications set. Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure that you have, we did a Bill Maher interview. Oh, Spencer. All right. Let's reconvene here tomorrow, probably a little before 9 a.m. if we can get a feed on the O'Malley arraignment and then on the protective order hearing for the HOS plaintiffs or HOS defendants. Who can keep the track of them anymore? I can't. I don't know. I can't. To everyone who's sending me like these emails about, please unblock me. Listen, if you've been blocked like 400 times, I mean, you could try begging to get back, but like if you can't control yourself in the chat and like be nice to each other, I can't let you back in. I just can't. I'm gonna have to look at your history. It's gonna be a whole thing. If it goes to a whole team, the whole team is gonna have to look at your history, find out why you can't control yourself, and then chatting is a privilege. My chat, my choice. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. I love you all, and I am going to see you tomorrow twice. Thank you to the moderators for doing this because without them, I wouldn't be able to do this with you so much. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe out there.